All right, guys. I am doing something unusual. I have with me the animator of this clip that you've just watched, the animator of the Gila Klein clip that we've watched a million times, Sven Stoffels.
Holy shit. Guys, I'm here. Sven Stoffels. I'm right here. It's amazing to be here. Thank you so much, Josh, for having me. You
You're
just
welcome.
watch which clip? The China
The
Ching Chong one?
Ching Chang, yes. Ching Chang does a little dance.
Yeah. And she does a little there. Yeah, yeah. Do you want to know the context behind that, or what should we get into first here?
Oh man, I didn't realize that there
Oh,
could be a context for that.
there is. Oh, dude, this clip got me mega canceled. I've been canceled a couple of times, but this one they really went after me. Like the
Well,
Chinese
I tried
Communist Party
finding
came
it,
after me.
and the first thing that I saw was animator receives thousands of death threats after racist
Yes.
clip or something like that. Did you receive
Yeah, I was
thousands of
like,
death threats?
yes, I went over this one time on one of my streams. I showed a ton of the death threats. I was like on Chinese news websites and stuff like that with like the worst picture of me in like a MAGA hat, calling me like the worst racist guy ever. And yeah, they went after my old employees, after my family members. They sent pictures of my brother's newborn babies, like photoshops of a decapitated baby to his front door. It was
Wow.
like an endless, yeah, crazy event for me. But yeah, I never relented. And then they deleted everything. They deleted my Patreon that I had at the time, my channels, everything, and I had to rebuild from there.
Were you an
But yeah, so,
animator with Comedy Central directly, or were you like a contractor?
well, there was a Comedy Central show called Trip Tank, and I directly worked for that show. So I guess I don't know how that
Okay.
works, but
It's about,
contractor probably, yeah.
about like 1 degree of separation.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so that was one of the worst cancellations ever. They really fucked me hard on that one. But yeah, you're one of my you showcase one of my greatest works, the Eli Klein cartoon, which also can't live on any of my channels. That's also been banned from my channels and got me in a lot of trouble.
One of my
Um,
favorite like caricatures of anyone ever of all time, because it just captures like this, because it's not even like it's a fictitious depiction of her. She does have this utterly dead, soulless stare where you just don't feel that she's looking at you when she looks at the camera or whatever. She just has like this completely hollow kind of
and
presence,
it,
and it's like it
yeah.
just captures that perfectly.
Well, and
But
not according to H3 himself. I don't. Maybe we should just watch that video. I just sent you that. I think you've showed it once before. What do
I
you think?
have. Okay, I will play
We
both the
should.
clip. Everyone's seen the
He
clip, but I'll
says
play it one time.
H3 claims that it's a Nazi propaganda picture, but I mean, and I think you agree with me, would argue it looks exactly like her. There's barely any exaggeration there. I would barely even call it a caricature.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
know,
just that your style is very like it plays up people's features quite a bit.
I mean, look, but I mean, this could be a picture of her.
Okay, I'll play
Look at
it and
that
then we'll watch
beautiful.
the clip. Just real
Yes,
quick.
yes. Oh God.
Just amazing.
But
And
people were
it's the,
calling us the Avengers of racism, which I thought was really funny. People were very excited.
the art is like a direct parody of Doom, right?
Of what? Of
Of
Dune?
Doom, like Doom, the
Dune?
video game.
No. Well, I mean, no, not really. Actually, I was
It
just
wasn't
going for
intentional. It
something.
just looks like that. It's like a meeting of the
Yeah,
minds
it
on
just
accident. Okay.
yeah, it just has that vibe, I guess. That the
I
Mars
always thought,
landscape.
especially the one where it's like on top of the pile of bodies, I always thought that was like a direct reference to like the Doom commercial art. So the fact that
That
it's
one.
just like you just reach that point on your own makes it kind of even
Yeah,
funnier.
you know, actually, I was always more of a Duke Nukem guy, which of course shines through in my comic book, Butch Killigan, which I'm sure we're going to get into. He also was standing on a pile of bodies, if you remember that cover.
Yes, I do. Okay.
You remember? I think maybe that was on the back of my brain.
Are you
Oh,
going?
people are saying louder. They want to hear
Loud
the shooting.
is the
I mean, I can.
oh no, I turned it down just a little bit so we could talk. They're being
Oh,
assholes. Don't worry about
gotcha.
it. They do that. Just a warning.
They do that.
So uh actually let's just play the clip and then I'll ask you a little bit because I have a
This-
question.
Okay, cool.
Okay, this is Ethan Klein, fully and completely defeated by the cartoon that we just watched. It had been around
Fuck
for
yeah,
years
dude.
at this point, but after Elon got Zitter and allowed this cartoon to propagate, because Jack would sweep it up if it got reported. But
Hmm.
at this point, Ethan is having to deal with this video being posted to every single one of his replies, especially because the Palestine Israel thing had kicked off, and he had like
Yeah.
pro Palestine people submitting Sven's comic to him, and he was like genuinely anguished over it. So we're gonna watch his reaction. I
Yeah.
played
This is
this.
a great clip. This is a great clip.
And when you say anyway, that's whatever. That's a whole different conversation. But um, I was just there was one tweet I saw, and this isn't the first time I saw it, but I saw someone post it, and it was getting lots of likes. And the beautiful irony of this is, so it's a video, a cartoon somebody created who put a lot of fucking effort into making a cartoon of Ela in an IDF uniform with a
He's like,
automatic weapon.
I'll pause it for a second. He's like vomiting on
Hmm.
his words as he tries to get that out. He's just like so broken that his Tourette's or whatever is just in
Yes.
overdrive.
Yeah. This Tourette's twitching is in overdrive in this clip, which rules.
Oh, then
And
he played it too.
she's
Okay.
all
They
she's
played
got
it?
like that kind of Nazi Jewish propaganda face, and she's just killing kids. She's just mowing down the Palestinian babies. And what's kind of, I don't know, it's definitely not funny. I don't know what it is. You guys tell me. I know that shit was made by Nazis, like literal Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who I saw who were tweeting it this time were leftists.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Nazis and leftists clapping hands together to say, fuck, fuck Israel. We agree on that. Let's clap it up, brother. And that was a weird feeling for me, and I was in a pretty bad shape. And so I've been trying to erase Twitter. I've been trying all weekend. Do you guys know how? And by the way, I can't. Thank you. I can't deactivate my account because it makes
you
my
there?
handle
Yes.
open, which is insane.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't
Obviously,
able to hear any
that
of
would
that,
be
but
insane.
Go ahead.
To let some.
No, it's you
It's
won't be
done
able to
playing?
hear the. Yeah, it's got a little bit left. I was actually trying to find a Jew like a contemporary depiction of Jewish women, and there's really not that much. And it's like it's not even close. It's not even close. It's just like what he wants people to perceive this as because he doesn't want his wife's service in the
Yeah.
IDF to be like
Yeah.
looked at like that. I don't know. It's just
Now he also said this was made by a whole studio of Nazis. First of all, I made this by myself in one sitting, in one evening. I animated that whole freaking thing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I think if you think about it, what's so shocking to him is that actually the quality is so good, right? Because it's not just
well, he
any
seems
old meme.
taken aback by it. In the beginning, he says like someone put a lot of fucking effort into this because
Yeah,
he can't say it was like
supposed to make it half-assed a little. No, yeah, I put a lot of effort in my work. You know what I'm saying?
it's
And
not
then he
some
had to take it down.
shitty
the
little
son of a
cartoon.
bitch.
It's not a soy jack. It's like a proper like production.
Yeah. Yes. That makes it even more funny, in my opinion. Did he already mention the part where, yeah, and then left wingers and Nazis
Yeah.
were clapping together? Did he say that already?
Yeah, that's where I ended it at because it's like
Yes. So,
that's what
yeah.
got to him is that like it's not just like oh he can dismiss it, oh it's just the stupid right wingers that are posting this, but when it's both sides like no we both don't like you, you're just an asshole. He's like fuck
And,
you.
and what is his instinct, right? So here you have a piece of artwork, right? Undeniably, a beautiful piece of art that brings both sides of the political aisle together, which is rare. That never happens. Okay, so now it finally happened. And what is his instinct? Shut it down.
Yeah,
They need to shut it down. They need to get rid of it.
he mentions that he goes directly to like YouTube corporate and they fault with him for a bit and like well it's really like a commentary about a foreign nation's military. And it's like you can't
Yeah.
really censor that for grounds of being anti-Semitic just because it happens to be the IDF. Nobody would bat a fucking eye if it was like the Lebanese armed forces or whatever.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
he got his way. It was taken down. It had like how many views did it have that short?
Oh, I don't really remember. But yeah, okay, by the way, first of all, I think it's also important to mention that YouTube initially did say it's valuable artistic expression. Then, when he didn't get his way, what he did was he went into one of his private discords or whatever, and he drummed up his Reddit or whatever. He actually had to drum up his fan base to do a mass reporting, and that's how he managed to get it taken down eventually.
I mean,
So,
that's pretty fucking common.
sneaky,
That's basically what he does all the time.
yeah, sneaky little tactics. But yeah, we should mention because I didn't even really realize this. He left Twitter because of this cartoon, and he's still gone apparently.
Yeah, I've checked every
Which
so often. He's remained completely off X since this dropped. He fully
so
committed to it.
guys, W's in the chat. I think I can take credit for this. I chased H3H3 off of Twitter. That's my doing. I need to put that on my Butch Killigan 2 campaign page because yeah, I do think that's a pretty good selling point. Yeah.
It's a
Fuck
public
that
service.
guy. It's a public service.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
what a freaking
right before he left, even he was in this drama where a bunch of his fans were like harassing some woman into like suicide, and he's like, "Well, you can't
right.
blame me. I'm not like coordinating this." And then he coordinates flagging videos down
Yeah,
and
right.
shit. Well, he fucking does.
That's what he does all the time, this sneaky little bastard. But yeah, he's gone now, guys. You're welcome. I did it for you. But yeah, so that's one of the cartoons. The Eli Klein cartoon is I mean, thank God that you keep showing because the most important thing for me is at the top of my importance hierarchy when it comes to my art is that people get to see it. So that's the most important, which for me has proven to be very difficult because people my shit gets fucked with every time. So that cartoon, I can't have it up on any of my channels. I always take it down immediately. There's probably some kind of a behind the scenes hound that's on my case. So yeah, I thank you for that. I think it's really cool that you've made it into this big meme.
I'm happy to help because it's good. I wouldn't play it if it wasn't good.
Yeah, yeah. And I was talking to you earlier because yeah, you mentioned you showed the Ching Chong cartoon, which by the way, people call that racist. That was actually, and I've explained this a bunch of times, but this was made during COVID, the height of COVID, and there was this meme going on called like COVID Ching, what was
Corona
it called?
Chan.
COVID Chan or something? Corona Chan. And it was just this cute little tee anime girl with like virus ball pompons, and I just didn't think that really covered the load of like this virus, this China virus. So I made my own disgusting version of it. That's what that is. It's a personification of this Chinese virus. But yeah, of course, the Chinese didn't really like that one as much.
No,
You
I
always
got it.
end up offending someone.
Because the East Asians always want to make everything cute. It's up to Western artists to make everything like ugly and scary.
Yeah, especially the Europeans who like doing that. You know, I grew up with like Amsterdam smut comics. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my
Yeah,
main inspirations.
Dutch. They have weird art in the Netherlands.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the stuff that I grew up with. And back then it was okay. In the '90s, like gross out humor was that was the thing. Like Ren and Stimpy, everything on like the MTV cartoons and stuff like that. Beavis and Butthead, that was the shit. But now, if you make something like that, you're called a racist. Of course, you're being called a racist for everything, which I don't give a fuck about. They can call me that all day long. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I made okay. Speaking of racism, maybe you should see that cartoon. This is another example of a cartoon of mine, the N-word one, which recently
I haven't actually
they
seen this
took
one,
that
so
one.
this will be new for me.
Oh, yeah, I think a lot of people probably have because this one went. This one went. Okay, so recently it went viral on TikTok. It got like 17 million views. Of course, they cropped out my tag, so none of that audience comes in my direction, which fucking sucks. Here's the thing, again, like I said, right? So the most important thing is that it gets seen, so I like that. But here's the problem with that. If I would get some of that audience, it would actually entice me to make new art. But right now, like, what am I doing? If I'm just make art, I put a lot of effort in and throw it into the void, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel
So
like
when it
there
comes
has
to
to
these,
be some way to capitalize on people sharing your stuff, even if they try to crop out the artist tags. Because I think that
yeah,
your stuff has like
yeah.
a propensity. Because again, it's really high quality, so people tend to share it more just because it lands better.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to probably have to experiment a little bit with the watermarking and shit.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so yeah, make it an NFT. Illustrationable. I don't know. But yes, but yeah, yes, but again, like I'm saying again, I'm happy that people get to see it. But yeah, it would be nice to get a little bit of recognition. It's not because I need to have my horn tooted. But yes, if you want to have an artist make more of this type of art, yeah, you need to incentivize that. But for right now, whenever I make like a super transitive cartoon, it actually is a net negative for me. You know what I'm saying? I lose my channels, I lose money. It's just a mega disaster every single time. But I can't help myself.
Do
But
you get
yeah, so
do you
Butch
get banned
Killigan,
off
yeah,
Twitter
is
still for the cartoons?
no, no, not Twitter. Twitter's been okay,
Okay.
actually. Twitter has been pretty solid for me throughout, to be honest. It's just been everything else for me that's been fucked
Yeah.
up.
The only rule, and I keep doing this because I have very bombastic rhetoric, you have to avoid any implication of violence in any way, shape, or form. If I say something like
Hmm.
drop dead, I get fucking banned from Zitter. So
Oh, fuck.
I can't control
Yeah.
myself. It's just where I go naturally. So I'm
Yeah,
always in the timeout
no.
box.
I mean, come on. I got my Sven streams, which is where we do like a wacky caricature stream where we get into a lot of wacky hijinks and trouble. Sven streams. That's my streaming channel that we started, but I got striked on that right now because I simply showed that Benjamin Netanyahu has a trophy sitting on his desk of a ivermectin vaccine syringe.
Really?
Have you seen that?
No,
Yeah,
I have
so
not.
fucking Netanyahu has a goddamn glass box on his desk with a displayed ivermectin syringe as a trophy. Now, we showed that and we goofed on it. Boom. Stream taken down, channel strike because of vaccine misinformation or some shit. I didn't even know they were still
Wow.
doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it. It's so weird because you see like all these ghosts, like someone uploads a video and you just see like the ghost of like censorship past creeping up with like little warning boxes about like coronavirus vaccines. I'm like, who the fuck asked?
Yeah, yeah. What the fuck? I honestly thought that whole Corona vaccine stuff, they were kind of gonna getting rid of that as a merit for bannings, but I guess that's still happening. I did notice that you're allowed to say, can I swear on this one
Yes.
right now? So you're allowed to say tranny again. Tranny, you're allowed to say that one again on YouTube. I even
Really?
sometimes drop the N bomb. Yeah, tranny you can say openly again. I see what happens, I think, is sometimes they kind of release the pressure relief valve when they see like people on the right getting like, and you can kind of look at like, what's fucking Ben Shapiro's network called again? I forget what it is.
Oh God. The
What the
pundit, the
fuck is it
daily.
called?
I don't even
Daily
know.
Wire, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
whatever they're basically they sort of dictate what's kosher in like conservatard circles. So when they make a documentary about trannies, you sort of get to say tranny again. And I think now they're releasing the pressure relief valve a little bit on black people. You get to kind of be a little bit racist again, which is odd. Anything to keep the attention off them. You know what I'm saying? Wink, winkety
Yeah,
wink.
Google's in a hard spot right now. They're being attacked by the Department of Justice. They want to break them up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do
Yeah.
make a little bit of concessions because it's like the Department of Justice is trying to cleave them, especially the ad network, off of their search. So, something I was going to talk about today. But
All right, cool.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that is
what did you show that N-word cartoon real quick because we're gonna
yes,
drift off too far from this topic otherwise.
yeah. Let's play
Anyways,
that.
people get it. I'm banned from my art. I'm just a poor, lonely little artist, and I get banned a lot.
Sorry, give me a second. As I mentioned, I don't usually have a way to play
Video
W
files?
and yeah,
Yeah, I
WMVs
know.
in
Sorry about
particular.
that.
That's a strange format.
I don't know. I don't know why I sent you that one. I might have an MP4 too. Do you have VLC media player?
Yeah, but OBS doesn't capture. I have MPV, and I think that works. I'm gonna play that real quick.
All right. Let's check it. Hopefully, we can figure it out. Chat's loving it. They're going nuts. Yeah, this is the Avengers of racism, but it's just two guys.
Oh, it doesn't
Who
want to
else?
play
Who
that.
else would be one of the Avengers of racism?
Hmm.
Jesus?
Do you have this on like
Jesus.
YouTube?
No. Again,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
because
allowed
it's
to
it's.
show it like cartoon.
I
I wish.
might have to
I
play
wish.
No, let me try one more
We can
thing.
describe it. We can
I'll-
describe it.
Sorry, man. I thought I had it working, but it did this really cheeky thing where it just decided that I would only show the first frame,
What
and
the
then
flip?
once I play it, it just doesn't play another frame.
What the frickin' H? Wait, maybe I have like a different version of it. Let me see. Gosh darn it. Probably not, actually. Maybe this. What is this? What kind of. Oh, no, that's not. Well, we might have to chalk that one up to a little L.
There's a sign that says we
Might
could-
not be possible. People have not seen
No.
this, like two black guys walk
No,
into a store.
I got it.
It's
I'm gonna play
working?
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, go.
Okay. Again, you won't be able to hear it or see it, so I'll just tell you it's 45 seconds.
Sure.
Viewer
Just let me know when
is advised.
when it's done.
You never heard of two black guys walking down the street? One's got 98 cents, one has $1, and it says there's a sign that says we could turn you white for 99 cents. So they make the plan that the guy with the dollar will go in. When he comes out, if it's good, he'll give the penny to the guy, and he'll go in and do it. So the guy goes in with his dollar, he pays, he comes out. He looks amazingly white. Looks just like a white person. You know this joke? No. And he goes to the guy, and the guy goes, oh, man, that looks great. He goes, all right, give me the penny. I'm going to go in. And he goes, get a job, nigger.
This is just animating like a black people comedy bit. How does that get you canceled?
Yeah.
I do appreciate, by the way, that the outrageously white man is just Butch Killigan. That's a good tie-in.
That's right. Yeah, that's a prototype of Butch Killigan. Yeah, for people who don't, maybe we can get into Butch Killigan after this and talk a little bit about indie comics.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't. Is the video done playing?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's why I
okay,
said
okay.
it's just like an actual like skit from like a black podcast or something. Like,
Yeah,
you just
it's like,
animated.
it's like a street. It's a street joke. Yeah. By the way, this cartoon is mega old. What is this? When did it make it? It's like 2014 maybe. And now it's resurfacing and getting like millions and millions of views. Like I explained. This was from people are saying Big J Okerson. I work sometimes with the Legion of Skanks guys. I do all the art for Skanks Fest in New York. Sven, you made this? Yeah, I did. See, a lot of people don't know I made. That's the whole gosh darn problem I'm trying to illustrate.
Yeah, they
All
keep
these
taking out your
viral
fucking
cartoons
credits.
and nobody knows it's me. But yeah, Legion of Skanks. What was I saying? I forgot. Help me out
Butch
here. I
Killigan.
forgot what I was talking about.
You want to talk about
Oh, yeah,
any comics
Butch
and Butch
Killigan.
Killigan?
Yeah. Maybe if you can you like pull up maybe that trailer, that launch trailer.
Yeah.
Because I've been getting into comic books right now because animation takes so much work. I'm working with Iconic Comics. They're my publisher. We released our first book. Everybody got their book. It got fulfilled. I don't release books, by the way, where I'm like, I don't do like Kickstarters. So it's like, please fund my dream, and then you give me a bunch of money and you never get anything. No, my book is already done. You're basically pre-ordering the book. It's like 120 plus pages. It's a big, fat, square-bound book. You're going to get it in a couple of months after the campaigns are done. Maybe we can show the trailer and maybe the campaign page a little bit. That would be nice.
Yes,
If people can actually support actual art, actual independent comics. Because you were going over, what's that guy's name again? The black guy? Eric
July.
Juneteenth? That guy? Eric Juneteenth. I call him that, please. Call him that from now on, okay? Eric Juneteenth. You were going over that, and you mentioned Butch Killigan, which is very nice.
I did. Did you watch
Yeah,
that
as a
review of that comic?
I did. And then I saw Ethan Van Sciver also checked it out, which was cool of him. He endorsed Butch Killigan. He said Butch Killigan, back in the day before woke comics, it would have received an Eisner Award. Now, I'd never heard of that. Sounds very Jewish, but I'm honored nonetheless.
That's Eisner is one of the Disney CEOs.
Oh, yeah, that guy, of course, yeah. Eisenstein, these type of fellas. But I listen. Perhaps I would have won an award. Who knows? Nowadays, we're in the era of indie comics, of which Eric July, of course, is the top dog. DAWG, and you showed those pages that actually prompted me to actually check it out for the first time. So on my stream, I also go through the pages. Yeah, maybe I should just get into this right now. Should I give you my commentary, my thoughts on this, on the state of indie comics real quick before we watch Butch Killigan?
Watch
no?
I'll do the trailer first, and then I'll put the Indiegogo
All right.
up, or the Kickstarter, and then you can talk with that as
all
the
cylinders are
background.
going nuts. I'm going
No.
crazy, dude. Okay,
All
keep
right.
going.
37
Sorry about
seconds. I'll play it.
Revenge awakens in Butch Killigan 2.
The trailer is very topical because there's like robot sodomy, and the Joker 2 just came out, so you're kind of stealing their thunder right now.
Wait, does he get fucked by a robot though? I haven't seen it yet.
No, he gets fucked by a jail guard, but it's the same kind of vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is way more
Yes.
exotic, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, of course. So Butch Killigan, for those of you who don't know, it's like a cyberpunk story. Think of it as like Demolition Man. It's a guy. Okay, the first book is the setup. You need to read the first book to
How
know
do
what happens,
people
but yeah,
get?
he loses.
I tried to get a physical copy of your first book, and I couldn't find it. Have you like sold out of the physical copy?
Here's the thing. First of all, you regular people can get it on iconiccomics.com. They got to go to the web store. Maybe you can pull that one up. iconiccomics.com. You can get physical copies there. But you, Josh, if you sent me your PO box or whatever you got after this show, I'll have them send you like 2 copies of book 1 and 2 physical if you want.
Sure, that sounds great. Actually, I pledged to your Kickstarter. I only need the one.
Oh, well, you know what? We're gonna send you some extra goodies then. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody needs to go back this because this is the only actual transgressive book with a vision. It's actual a creative vision that's happening. That's playing out in front of you. And maybe let me explain this.
Well,
right? So
well,
what
I mean, you
yeah.
you did the storyboarding, and the art, right? So you're not like offloading
do
anything to
everything.
anybody else. Yeah, right.
No, I write the book. I draw the book. I do all the marketing. I do everything. I edit the trailers. Everything is mine. Okay. And yeah, that goes into so you have guys like Eric July. Okay. These people, and yeah, people are right. He's the only one who actually sent out a book. No, actually, he's not the only one. I managed to also deliver people a book. My previous book came out, rave reviews, on time, everything fine. But these people, Comicsgate, they distinguish themselves by separating themselves from the mainstream. We all know their selling point is mainstream comics nowadays. They've gone woke, they've gone paused, they've gone BIPOC, gay, queer, whatever. Okay. Then you got these guys. They go indie, which means independent, and they distinguish themselves because they no longer they lost the chains. They're no longer shackled to the corporate top-down control. Okay, and then apparently the biggest example of this is the Rippaverse, which to me looks like the most generic, devoid of any personality or any authorship. Is this really the best we can do? Is that really what it is? You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a beef with Eric July? I'm kind of picking up on that.
No, not really.
No.
I actually really don't. And to be fair, I actually tend to think it's a little bit in bad taste for me as a fellow comic book creator to shit on this guy. But again, you inspired me. This is your fault because you inspired me to look at these pages, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this? Like, this is just nothing."
Okay, so that was actually
Yeah.
Gumroad content. I did that like for people that like in private, and then it got leaked out, and everybody shared it around. So, in case the audience is unaware, I have in my right here in my closet, I have one of the only comic books I've ever owned and read, which is Isom 2. And it is a bad book. The first one is more grounded and like it's intriguing. It has like a little plot about like a mystery that's like, oh, that's cool. The second one is like fucking batshit. I have no fucking idea how nobody stopped him and said, you can't do this. This doesn't make any sense. So after
Okay, so I only checked the first one. I thought that was horrible, but I might have to check the second one.
if you didn't like the first one, the second one, you would hold in utter
I love
contempt.
it. Oh God! Yeah, I was saying the name alone, Isom. I was like, that sounds like something you'd see on the side of a cement truck. You know, like
Yeah, it does sound like a
Isom.
business name or something.
ISOM business to business solutions or something. It doesn't really, it's not really a real superhero-y type of name.
It's named
You
after
know
his
what I'm saying?
grandfather.
It's named after his grandpa.
His name was Isom.
He stuck
You say
around. Yeah, that's a real superhero in the community.
yeah.
Wait, I didn't know.
So
Wait, his grandpa's name was Isom.
yeah, it's like either his grandfather or somebody. It's named after
Aw.
somebody in his family. So when people give him shit for the name, he always says, "I named it after my grandpappy" or something.
You know what? It's working on me. I'm afraid to criticize it. Okay, well, yeah. Listen. It's not just you and I. A lot of people are criticizing the subpar quality of the book, and I think even he started coping with like, "Hey, listen, N-word. I ain't no artist. I'm a businessman," and now he's just kind of doing like that business type of cope.
Yeah, well, what he's doing now is that at the end of ISOM 2, I said, I don't know if there's an ISOM 3, but I mean, I'll read it. Because what are they going to do? How could you possibly salvage this storyline? And then I went to their site, and there is no ISOM 3. And what he's done instead is that he's used the money that he's made to hire writers and artists to do their own like subplots in the same universe. So there's a bunch of different ISOM universe books out there, but the only one written by Eric July is the actual ISOM 1 and 2, and the ISOM 2 is just bad, and I can't really. I'm not even trying to like trash it. Like I want to like Eric July and his comics in particular because there's a lot of people that just are obsessed with hating him that are assholes. And I don't want to say things bad about him that like makes them happy. No. But I'm not gonna lie and be like this makes sense.
Me personally, I don't just. I'm not hating. Okay, well, I was accused of hating by another comic artist called Martina Margota. If you heard of this bimbo, this internet grifter, right-wing internet grifter, Lady Alchemy. You heard of that?
No? Sorry.
Anyways, she also fucking sucks, and I just reviewed one of her things, and then she called me a crazy stalker and a hater. No, listen, I'm an artist, and I think it's my full right to review art and give my honest opinion. Okay. Truth is my highest ideal. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to suck up to anybody. I'm an island. I'm standing here on my own. I hope you guys can support Butch Killigan Volume 2. You're not going to fucking regret it because this, listen, like I was saying, if ISOM is the pinnacle of what happens when the artist gets unshackled by corporate top-down control, then we're in big trouble, okay? Because that's the most successful thing. Listen, Butch Killigan, in this cyberpunk crazy future that Butch Killigan wakes up and you're gonna have like self-replicating retarded clones that get more retarded with each iteration.
Oh, you reminded me. In the art,
you have Chinese. If you scroll down, the Chinese human mosquito hybrids. Have you seen those guys?
Yeah, it smells a tongue on a mosquito.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is there like a Troonjack? I saw like a Troonjack in one of the drawings. Is that accurate? Yeah, there is.
You should pull out one of the trailers that I sent you one of the videos. It goes into that. It's called the Ultra City Citizen.
Yeah, these are like Troonjacks in your style. They're distinct enough that you don't. It's not super obvious, but the more you look at it, you're like,
yeah, these are like the soy. Goy slop consuming fat pieces of lards that can't stand on their own accord. They need like exoskeletons. They have a heart pump device on their chest that makes them able to breathe. They have to pay a ticker fee subscription, sort of like Netflix, to be able to have your heart pump. And you need to get like certain prescription services, like you have your active or semi-active lifestyle ticker rate plan that gives you a certain amount of pumps a day. Listen, this is gonna get nuts. Go buy your copy of Butch Killigan 2 right now, mother frickers. Support something real. Come on, can we just have something cool for once instead of all this gay ISOM stuff?
The visuals are like really psychedelic and trippy. They're really well done because you're flipping through it and you're like and there's homages to like famous artwork, like the one where the jaw is like a swirl. That's like. I want to say that's in Belgium. It's like in a museum in Belgium. And it's like,
listen, listen, I am an art dork dweeb. Okay, so I think you're thinking of Hieronymus Bosch, which is a Dutch artist who made like a middle-aged in the Middle Ages. He did like depictions of hell. So I'm definitely inspired. I'm inspired by a lot of different aspects, but yes, I'm an art dork. And another thing that you should know, by the way, because people sometimes get the wrong impression. They think it's just, again, I explained this on my one of my streams. Like Butch Killigan definitely is like a multi-layered cake. Okay, so yes, it is this masculine power fantasy, off the wall, crazy action and satire. And yeah, you can, if you're a retarded mongoloid, you can you can enjoy the top layer of all the action and stuff. But there's several deeper layers, okay? It starts to become more and more a psychological thriller or even a horror, basically. But again, we're setting things up. This is only the second book. This second book, it's Butch. He starts off, he wakes up in this dystopian future. And yeah, the first thing is like, he wakes up in his hospital bed, and in order for the AI that controls the hospital to let him go, they need to measure his vital signs. And what better way to do that with like a big drill thermometer dildo that's gonna sodomize his asshole? Now that's a situation for a character to have to get out of in the beginning of a book. And that's what I like. I would like throwing a character in the middle of danger and then trying to get him to see how he gets out of it. Because I think that's what a story is supposed to be. It's a type of survival guide. Okay, that's what makes a story fun. And one of the big problems that is actually happening with mainstream comics that people hate is that these comics become propaganda pieces and the characters become propaganda pieces. Like famously with like the new Star Wars movies, right? So they put like a female lead front and center. And she's not as much as a character as a propaganda piece. So she can't really have any flaws because she represents an ideology. And they're trying to shove that down your throat. So she can't have any flaws. And that makes not for a very interesting story. You know what I'm saying? Like Ronald McDonald, you're never going to see him get fat and get like heart disease. And that is why he's such a boring fucking guy. And that's what most characters are nowadays. And then you have dumb people who jump in on this indie trend and they don't even know what they're doing. They claim, yeah, we're fighting against a man. By doing what? Making another superhero comic, another bland, cookie cutter nonsense? You're not even doing anything new. You're not even revisiting the genre or doing anything. It's just nothing.
Well, with Eric July,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get the sense as someone who's never really read comics that he really enjoys comics and he likes a lot of the tropes in comics. So when he made his own comic, he's like, well, of course, my comic is going to have this trope and it's going to have this trope. It's going to have all my favorite things from all my favorite series. And that's really what it feels like to me. And I'm kind of
You know what?
curious.
That's interesting you say that. That's interesting that you say, sorry to cut you off, because that reminds me of soul food. You know, people say black people have soul food, but it's basically just them combining their favorite things. It's like a delicious Belgian waffle and fried chicken on top. You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying that Eric July's comic is over seasoned? Is that where you're going with that?
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay. Should I get into my controversial opinion about Eric July's success?
Oh, let me ask you a question first, and then you can go into that. I'm really curious. Were you big into comics like that, or is comic books just
No.
something that you've kind of like taken the mantle of because you're like, I bet I can do this better than everybody else right now?
Well, first and foremost, so I'm a storyteller. I'm an animator, but animation takes a lot of work. It's a heap amount of work. One of the first steps of the process of an animation is the storyboarding phase, which basically is creating a comic book. So for me, it just feels like throwing off the weights and me being able to get my ideas out there in a more efficient medium. So that's number one. Secondly, whether I was like reading a ton of comic books as a kid, not really, not the comic books that you're thinking of. I wasn't reading Superman or all the Goyslop stuff. I was reading Joop Klepzeiker. Google it. It's crazy Amsterdam shit. It's like this down on this like dweeb fucking prostitutes and shit like that. I was reading I did read Spawn. I read Spawn a little bit. And I read a bunch of manga too. I read like Berserk. It's one of my favorite things. And of course, I was a big fan of like Batman the animated series. That's sort of more like the accumulation of my my inspiration behind this stuff. But I wasn't like a huge pulp comic book type of guy. I wasn't like collecting X-Men or something like that. Not really. So I come from a fresh point of view.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought, and it's interesting that you phrase it like that. That it's just sort of like it's the storyboarding from animation, just like emphasized on that point, and that makes a lot of sense because then you can churn out like an animation without needing an entire team to animate it. You don't need like an
Yes.
Indonesian sweatshop to fill in all the cells for
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. Now, who knows what might happen down the line? You know what I'm saying? But yes, my main focus right now is to get the story out there, and it's going to resonate more and more with people, I think, as they start to get what this is. But yeah, it's gonna take a couple of books. And by the way, if people back campaign #2 right now for Butch Killigan #2, you can still add on a physical copy of Butch Killigan #1 as well at a discount. By the way, so when you're at checkout, you can do like an add-on, and you get like a 20% discount. So this shit is dirt cheap too. But you gotta back the real, true independent voices here, which I don't think there's many of. We scrolled during my launch party. We scrolled through the Kickstarter comic book launch page, and it's all just titties and like gay sex. So that's the thing. Like the indie scene is not much better, if at all, than the corporate.
Yeah,
sphere,
that's
you know what
something
I'm
too.
saying?
Is that with comics, it feels like a very like hypersexual medium, and I was kind of surprised that you didn't like include any like cheesecake. I want to say I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was any like cheesecake or anything in the comic.
Wait, what is cheesecake?
Cheesecake is like
That's
in Japanese it would be like ecchi. It's like mildly erotic, but not like full on. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
No, look. The way I handle. So first of all, this book is not going to use any vernacular of the day. It's not going to talk about, oh, you woke piece of shit. This comic is going to stand the test of time. The type of humor, the inspiration for the type of humor, I think would get us close to somebody like Paul Verhoeven, fellow Dutch guy, the director who made like RoboCop and Starship Trooper stuff like that. Is very much a satirical style of humor. Now, I'm not going to shy away in this story when the story needs a pair of tits or a rape or whatever. Uh, I'm not going to shy away from that, obviously, but I'm not going to just arbitrarily try to shock you necessarily. Well, maybe sometimes when I think it's funny, because, okay, so my editor, I send it to my editor, and yeah, the editor, one of the comments was, there's a lot of butt stuff. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, nigga. Yeah, there's a lot of butt stuff. That's funny. By the way, not gay sex, but okay, the book starts off with a near anal rape with our hero chained to a bed.
Yeah, you have
See
to
what I'm
be
saying?
careful
I guess
because
that kind
when you say that, it reminds me of a note that was left by the editor on Milo Yiannopoulos' like autobiography or something, and the editor
Oh
just
boy.
left a note like, "This is neither the time nor the place for yet another black dick joke."
Yeah, it's not like that. No, it's not like. Okay, look. So there's one scene where like one of these. It's always in context. Okay, so you have these guys, these goy slop fat soy boys,
Mhm.
and then one of them steps up to the hospital counter and is like, "Oh yeah, I got some pink sock problems during a non-lubed intercourse section. My rectum was left dangling like a pink sock. Because they're all there. They're all at the hospital, as you can see here, complaining about little minor ailments. So that would be an example of butt stuff, but it's not. I'm not like promoting gay sex, obviously, like Milo Yiannopoulos, which is of course a Jewish agent. We all know that.
Before I ask about your opinion on Eric July, the chat has a popular request, and I would actually like your artist input on something, just real quick. This is a guy. He's been around for a very long time, and he has had basically no traction on his comics because they're very weird.
Huh.
And so I started showing them on my stream, and he started to get some replies and stuff. And I want you, out of any of the last 7 comics that he's done, just pick one at random. And I want you to tell me which one you picked, and then give me your take on it.
Well, we don't have screen sharing up, so I'm not sure how we're gonna do this. I have to look at the stream, and there's gonna be a
Just
bit
no,
of delay
no.
then.
Just go to. I sent it by Discord.
Oh, you
Just
sent me a
open that
link.
link. Just pick any
Oh,
of
yeah,
those
okay.
and tell me which one of the end of the fucking world parts you picked, and then I'll bring it up on
Wait,
screen.
dude. Okay, let's see. Let's see this.
Pick one that appeals to you,
Jesus.
that jumps out to you off the page.
Right, you know what? I'm just gonna go with like 1, 2, 3, 4 because I like that pink skinned guy. Let's do the 4th one.
Okay. Okay, I've got that up.
Okay. So, well, I'm just. Do I have to read the text, or can I just look at this as an artistic thing? So what I see here.
If you would like to like just skim through it, you don't have to read it all. Just skim through
Let
it.
me give you my first impressions first. Okay.
Okay, first impressions.
First impressions is this. So I think on the internet there's two schools of artistry. To speak in a binary way, okay? Of course, there's a lot of gray areas there. Now I can tell, and I haven't read this comic, obviously. Okay, so there is the Call Arts Steven Universe type of queer-coded LGBTQ artists out there, and then you have the Newgrounds, Zach Hadel, Oni NG style influenced Gen Z artists out there. Now, this is obviously the latter. This is a very much Oni NG Psychic Pebbles inspired style. I can tell that. I can also tell you this: the guy is fairly talented. Now, I could even go as far as to give you his age. I think this guy is 24, 25 years old. I can tell you that by the way his line art works. Okay, so that's my initial first impression. And then, let's see, do you want me to just read this real quick? Do you want me to read it out loud?
Just skim through it if you want. You don't have to.
I mean, we got to read it. We got to read it. We got to give this guy his props. Okay, so 79 days until the election. And the panel goes, "What kind of filth are you putting in the school library? Sir, that's a Chinese takeout menu. And this is a Hardee's. Well, I'm taking this straight to the press. Soon the whole world will know about your brainwashing campaign." Pretty funny. "Wow." This is the news anchor. He goes, "Wow. And just for speaking up, they ask you to leave the school grounds? It's preposterous, Wessie. Do I look like a threat to children? Well." So this is sort of like taking the piss out of like a conservative media, I guess.
Yes.
"Listen, if you don't want your kids speaking Chinese and being brainwashed into their strange Oriental ways, then lock your child in my basement for safety." Which is also funny because, of course, conservators, their main enemy, they're taught, is the Chinese, the Chi-Coms, which, of course, we all know is not very accurate. "Would you mind reading some of these words so the parents at home know what to look out for? Listen to this shit, Wessie. Dim sum. Disgusting. Chow mein. Ugh. Dumplings. What the fuck? Wessie, what's happening to you? These words, those cursed Chinese words are turning me into a lesbian. Oh no, I must have accidentally activated Chinese magic. Viewers at home, it's too late for me. Turn off your TV. Save yourself from the gay curse." How come the curse didn't make you gay? It's time I told you where all our rubber bands get. Listen, this is funny. This is a funny comic.
Can you give me your interpretation of what the joke is in the last frame with the old people?
That woman didn't quote unquote turn gay because she was already gay and she's sort of coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't necessarily know what she has been doing with the rubber bands because I'm not really that up to snuff with the gay vernacular. But I think it can speak to the imagination, which is actually kind of more funny.
Oh my, you are like the biggest Mr. Nubley advocate. I couldn't even imagine that you would come out swinging for him. I'm so impressed.
I honestly have never seen any of this. Is that like the wrong opinion to have? Because I just honestly am reacting to this. I think it's pretty good.
There is no wrong or right opinion to have about Mr. Nubley. I find him fascinating. I'm not sure how old he is. I don't know if you want to take a guess. I'll send you his About Me page.
I said 24, 25, I think.
I think he's probably a little bit older than that. I want to say he's like 30 something. Really? Yeah. He's confirmed.
Becomes less cute.
Yeah, he's confirmed that his that the rubber band thing has no actual meaning. So it is just sort of like leave it up to the imagination about. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. But we really sat down and tried to ascribe meaning to it and failed miserably.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the guy right now. Yeah, it's sort of like in Demolition Man. Remember when they go like, how do the clamps work or whatever, when they have to go to the toilet because toilet paper's been replaced with like shells?
Yeah, I got you.
Something like that. It's sort of like that, where you just kind of have to fill in the blanks. I'm looking at the guy. I will say this personally, the older the guy turns out to be, the less charming it becomes to me, because I thought this was sort of like an up-and-comer you were showing me, like a guy.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. He's been at it for a while, but he could have started really young. I don't know. This could also just be like his Vint comics. Like maybe he works for like a comic, like for a national syndicated. Like he just has to draw what they tell him to draw, and then when he gets home, he just makes the dumbest fucking political comments that have ever existed. That's just like what he enjoys.
Yeah, that reminds me. Have you ever seen that vlog? Fuck yeah, John Lasseter. Have you ever seen that famous blog?
No, I haven't.
We're like Pixar artists. They came home and they would draw the worst caricature of John Lasseter, the owner, the CEO of Pixar back in the day. He's like
Really?
very old. And
That's
it's like
funny.
super offensive. He's like sucking off Hayao Miyazaki and of Ghibli and stuff. Yeah, it's an old blog called "Fuck Yeah, John Lasseter." That's a fun one to check out on your own time.
Yeah, you should not piss off artists because they can draw you doing horrific things.
Yes. Yeah. Now, do you want to hear my take
Yes, I desperately want to
on Eric
hear
July?
your other comic book review
Mhm.
about Eric July.
Okay. Now, can we get this off the screen? Put back up the Butch Killigan 2 campaign. And guys, for
It's
real, you got to
it's on
support
Indiegogo as well
the
in case you
real.
hate Kickstarter.
Yeah. So on Kickstarter we have one cover, and then there's the other one is on Indiegogo. It's a variant cover. Now I would say just buy both of them. But anyways, so if my theory or my opinion that Eric July's ISOM cartoon is or comic is subpar and not really an exemplary of what one can do with unbound creativity, right? Which I think we both agree on. Now, how would you then explain the massive success? And by the way, I will say this, out of the Rippaverse, there's some cool shit happening, like the guys that are doing these animated trailers. But that's obviously, it's like a separate studio that's in Texas, I believe. You know, but that doesn't say anything about the source material. Like you could give them anything and they could make it look cool with their animation, right? That's not has nothing to do with Rippaverse, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff, but we're talking about the comics here, and if this is like the pinnacle of unbound indie independent creativity, I think we're in trouble. So, but then, yeah, how would you explain the massive success? Now, here comes the controversial opinion that I don't think anybody's talking about. I don't think EVS is talking about this, at least. So the indie scene, these guys, Comics Gate, these type of guys, Rippaverse, they broke off from the mainstream BIPOC, LGBTQ, black Spider-Man, black Superman, black Hulk scene, and they went indie, okay? Now, immediately, obviously, mainstream media is going to call them racist. Oh, the reason they're breaking off is because they're racist. They can't deal with like LGBTQ BIPOC characters. You're racist. Now, the worst thing you can call, and I'm sure you know, a boomer or a Gen Xer is racist, right? They've been primed. It's not even really their fault. They've been brainwashed by television for decades and decades and decades to believe that being called a racist is the absolute worst. To be marked with the scarlet R of racism, that's the worst thing that could ever happen to you. So now here they are with their new comic scene that doesn't like the BIPOCification of their favorite comics. And here comes Eric July, the black guy, the token black guy. Now a lot of these conservatarded Gen Xy boomers, they form their opinion through a black consensus filter. You know, this is a huge trend. You can see this on YouTube too. You'll have like a black guy reacting to like Nirvana or like some white niche hobby, like a black guy that's into Warhammer. And you'll see Gen Xers clapping like seals. Look, my little thing is getting the stamp of approval by the
Cool black
the
guy.
Negro.
They're
The black guy, the magical Negro is approving of my little thing, right? Which of course is a whole new form of psychological cuckery. So yes, I think the reason that Rippaverse got so big and successful, and I understand it's very controversial, but it's the truth, is because these white people, these white cockservatards, they basically paid penance by supporting this guy's campaigns, and therefore thereby cleansing their new nerdosphere branch off of the scarlet R word. That's what I think.
I can tell, even though a lot of what you say sounds familiar, I can tell that you've developed this on your own in like a bubble of just thinking about it because the way you describe
Yeah.
everything is so divorced. Like you don't use any of the same language, and in particular, describing it as penance, like buying
Yeah.
God, what was it called when you bought like forgiveness from the Catholic Church?
Like
It's like that's it.
absolution.
Yeah, it's like that's like a great way of putting it. You're
You
contributing to
think?
something from the cool black
Thank
guy
you.
who's on your side, and that's
Yes.
your way of buying clemency from the Pope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indulgence.
They think,
That's the
now,
word.
yes, this is my own take. I don't listen to any comic book things. Now I have developed this take because my listeners that are in the chat, they've heard me talk about this like 4 times at this point. But yes, I have developed this take. This is what I think happened. Now, what do you think? Is there any credence to my theory?
Um, I think some
Because
of
how
it can
else would
just be
you?
like
How would
genuine
you?
well wishing. Like I hope that this thing sticking it to the man is going to work out. But I think there's also a part of that where it's like I can because this was a thing during Gamergate, where people really tried to go out of their way to like find black people and women that were on their side so they could explicitly. And Milo
Mm,
Yiannopoulos, bringing up him a second time, heaven forbid, was a great example of this. He was not only Jewish, he was not only gay, but he was also in a gay marriage with a black man. So he's like the
yeah.
ultimate source of indulgences. You support him, well, you're not anti-Semitic, you're not homophobic, and you're not racist
Yeah.
because he's in a interracial marriage. So
Yeah.
he
So
was
basically,
like
they
the Pope.
become a lightning rod. They become a lightning rod for any left wing criticism, basically, in your little nerdosphere, right?
Yeah, because
Like I
yeah,
think,
because you're
yeah,
trying to protect like you're divorcing yourself from the mainstream by showing like no, really, we're not bad people
now, yeah,
based off
but
your
it was.
definitions.
I think it results in more trouble than it solves because, of course, you're giving a lot of credence to charlatans and grifters. The easy solution to this would just be for us to collectively stop giving a flying fuck about what the left or whatever you want to call it, what kind of monikers they put on you. Because when they call me a racist, they go, "Okay, sure, yeah. What is that? What the fuck does that mean?"
Well, the
You know what I'm
issue and the
saying?
reason why
Fuck
they kind
off.
of feel like they have to is because if the press has their way and they manage to get that racist thing to stick, you can't process credit cards, you can't be on
That's
platforms, you know.
true.
So that's why
That's true.
people
Yeah,
do
and
the shuck and jive to try and keep
we
their
both
good
know. We
graces.
both know. But you
Yeah.
don't chuck and jive, and neither do I. Right? If more of us were not chucking and jiving.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, it would be better, but a lot
Yeah.
it's asking a lot of people, you know, like who knows how much you would sell of your stuff if you had access to the traditional avenues
Yes,
of
but
financing
here's the
things.
problem with that. Here's the problem with that. I can't. I can't. This is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm speak the truth. Butch
No, I got
Killigan.
you.
That's
I
me. I'm
can't
saying
shut it
what I
off
want to say.
either. I can't watch my fucking mouth. I've tried. I don't fit in anymore. I can't do it. I can't play by your rules. You either like I'm sorry. I'll just be homeless before I can figure out some way to shut up.
Yeah. Plus, I would say this. I think it's actually the job of the artist to play that role. It's sort of like this is kind of gay and cringe, I guess. I shouldn't even say this, but I was going to say it's like the jester back in the olden times. An artist ought to speak the truth, and that's what it always was like. You know what I'm saying? You need to be contrary to the popular. I'm not a contrarian, but now in these days, it's incumbent upon the artist to speak the truth, right? And I see this. I see a lot of bad stuff happening in comedy too. I work a lot with like comedians. Like I said, I work for Skankfest and stuff like that, and you can see that their comedic commentary isn't really geared towards those actually worthy of critique. And then what you started to see happening, especially during the COVID days, was because the topics of comedy that were deemed kosher were sort of like gay stuff. So you could so guys like they were like, oh, they were sucking off the dildo, like sort of like the jackassy shit. And that's what a lot of this comedy is revolving into. They're not really they're too scared to actually have commentary on real things, and then it devolves into like a gay, jovial, jackassy. But at that point, like if you're like, look how crazy we are, let me kiss my best friend in the mouth, and but you might even not know what I'm talking about. But this was like a big moment in one of these podcasts. Like, oh look at this, we're drunk. I'm gonna kiss my best friend.
Yeah.
Like at this point, you're not being transgressive because literally the McDonald's billboards have two guys kissing. Like you're just
Yeah.
you're performing a gay act. You're just being gay. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think like a lot of comedy has gotten gay. A lot of art obviously has gotten gay. Everything's fucking gay.
Well, that's why I remember
And it
how
sucks.
big comedy was like in the early 2000s, like how big Comedy Central was and how big like stand up was. And a lot of that was because they would take pot shots at like the Bush government. And
Mm-hmm.
now anything that is in power that would be humbled by humor and ridiculed is like an untouchable. You can't go on stage
Yeah.
and if you try, it's like a huge deal. Like Dave Chappelle making a few
Yeah.
remarks about trannies and then like apologizing mid-set for it. But no, really, I love him. It's like even
Yeah.
that is like transgressive in its way.
Yeah.
It's like
And
really bizarre.
that's a great point. That's a great point. Even like Shane Gillis, right? That he's being hailed as the new awesome you know him, Shane Gillis, the like the dude bro type of guy.
No.
He's doing they pulled him out to course correct on the Bud Light debacle when they used that Dylan Mulvaney tranny guy.
Yeah.
And now they're pulling out Shane Gillis, the new hot comedian, and then his big Netflix special. He's being like promoted by Joe Rogan and stuff. Like he's like the big hottest commodity. And then all these dumb Gen X are like, oh my god, so based, we're so back. You know why? Because he said the word retarded. But here's the thing, just like what you just said, he said the word retarded, but then he had to come up with this whole disclaimer during his special going, no, but really, I actually had a lot of Down syndrome friends and they're really cool and they're actually really cool guys. It's like, what the fuck is this? This is not based. This sucks.
I can say retarded too. I'm surrounded by retarded people all fucking day.
Yeah, I'm retarded. I consider I'm retarded. I'm sort of retarded.
There was also I remember in like the last couple of years, I have this like mental stain of watching Lisa Lampanelli as a kid. Do you know who that is?
Who the fuck is that again? Is that a Jew?
She's a Jewish woman from LA, and her entire stand-up routine was about how she loved black men. That was it.
Yes, I know.
And
yes, yeah.
And I just remember every single joke was just about how much she loves fucking black guys. And I watched this because I wanted to see if it was as bad as if I remember. And I was laughing a lot because she was like dropping the N-bomb and shit on stage. And I'm like, even you could not get away with what the fuck Lisa Lampanelli is. Lisa Lampanelli would be transgressive in today's day and age just because of like how aggressive and openly racist she was, and then just saying like, yeah, but I like them. It's like, okay.
Yeah, isn't it nuts? We really have drifted so far from anything that's good. Like it's truly insane, and I don't see a way back. Like some people are saying, like cancel culture is on the way out. I mean, there's a lot of theories about why that's happening. Like there's something like there's a theory of like the powers that be, the shadow government, the people pulling the strings. They've sort of shifted more towards the right after a certain event. Let's say after the October 7th attacks, they sort of shifted further towards the right rather than the left, and that has had a big ripple effect in media and stuff like that, which gives you the illusion that like there's more freedoms being granted to the plebs like us. But if anything, it's going to be temporary, and it's not of any great effect.
Yeah, the main thing to look for is that when the big issue that has completely gutted any form of creativity or open expression or real true equity in terms of people in the United States and Europe is that you can't buy or sell things. And if you can't buy or sell things on the internet, you don't have a place in today's economy. So until we can actually do that, everybody can participate in the economy. There is no equity. And any equity that they say that they have created is an illusion. And any kind of culture shift one way or the other, you're allowed to make money as long as you're under the Daily Wire. That's an illusion. Until the average person can set up a fucking storefront and sell shit that they make, there is no equity.
100% agree with that. Yeah. And until that time, well, listen, I do think, I'm going to shield my book real quick. I do think, guys, if you want to actually support true transgressive art and actual vision, please go to Butch Killigan Kickstarter page and back Volume 2. Let's show Rippaverse that we can surpass their slop.
Why Rippa in particular?
I don't know. I just like, isn't it like the top dog? Like, and again, I really don't.
He's made a lot of money.
See any of this. They made a lot of money, but it's just it's baffling to me why, because it's not on merit. Like it's not merit based. Like here's the thing, you're free to do. Anybody's free to review my book on their streams and rip it apart, but just be honest. What you think about it? You know what I'm saying? Because I think it stands the critical eye. The test of the critical eye. Whereas I think if anybody looks at Rippaverse, it's just blatantly obvious that it's not. The success is not based on merit. And I gave you my theory as to why it became successful, and I just think, and again, to me, it's not conducive of like the indie scene or what that ought to be definitionally, because it opposes the corporate media and all that. And then that's your answer? It's just some cookie cutter nothing. And then you look at the Kickstarter page and it's all gay. I think we looked at when I sent you a link about that one, like two gays in the field kissing, or whatever the fuck the comic's called.
Under the Rippaverse?
That's no.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a bit weird.
No. I wish that would rule. No, it's a different comic that was being.
Oh, you're talking about it on Kickstarter. Right yeah. It's it's all weird shit like that. It's either like queer lesbian romance or like just like It looks like there was some comic I saw that was being kickstarted, and I swear to God, it just looked like AI generated like cheesecake stuff, where it's just like tits and ass. I'm just like, what am I supposed to be inspired by? I don't know.
So cheesecake is like TNA, titty, bait, that type of shit. Yeah, that's a lot. Most, I would say, most of comics being pushed right now on like these crowdfunding pages is that type of stuff. So like, is that a healthy indie scene? I doubt it. I don't think so. Like, it's not really anything that's going to stand the test of time. It's just some fucking smut. And by the way, on top of that, okay, here's a whole theory. Can I take a piss real quick, and I'll give you my theory on the.
I just want to say you should have been a voice actor, because you have like a very distinct voice, and you put on like all these different. You Mr. Colin, you should have done voice acting.
I voice all my trailers too. Listen, if you need me for a voice, if you want me to do a promo, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick, fat, hot piss. Is that okay? I'll be back in like literally 2 minutes. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, chat. It's just us again. I haven't done an interview of anybody in like forever, and usually the people I interview, it's kind of like hostile. Well, the last interview I did was Channing Krager. What a fucking disaster that was. Who is this weirdo? It's Sven Stoffels. He's the guy that drew. In case you're late, he's the guy that drew the Hela Klein IDF animation that I play all the time. And he's the author behind Butch Killigan. That's like his current little pet project. And I read through the first one, and he does really, really crazy visuals. It's like a psychedelic kind of trip. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I would actually recommend it. And I compared it. His book was the one that I compared in the Gumroad video about ISOM 2, just because ISOM 2's like what they choose to present in like a visual medium really fall short, and like his homages to like actual like fine art and stuff in his comic book are really, really cool. Did I talk to Carolyn Farrow after the Channing Krager interview? I did talk to her. Oh, that's right. I did talk to her. Okay, that's true. That's true. That's an interview I did with somebody who was just kind of like a chit chat about her arrest and stuff. Yes, I'm gonna do. Not much has happened this week, so I kind of invited him because this week has been pretty short. So I was just I'll do like an hour or so with Sven talking about his comic book, and then I'll do my usual.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What's up, dude?
I was talking about. My usual lineup of interviews, and how they're usually people that are like, as I mentioned before,
retarded.
Yeah. Okay, you're gonna give me your hot take on.
Well, maybe it isn't a good pilot, don't you think? Like, I think I'm having fun. I love talking to you. You're an intelligent guy.
Thank you. No, you're
we're the Avengers of racism.
Yeah, you're very passionate about art, which is people like hearing people who are passionate about what they do. They don't want to hear somebody, try to sell them something they don't care about themselves.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what you're. Listen. You've probably talked to like mega retarded guys, right? On your stream.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really sure what you're referring to. People who aren't passionate about themselves.
Passionate about what they do. There's tons of people that are like they're just kind of like in the ether and drifting along because it's what's easiest for them at that point. It's hard to go out and to try to start shit. You know what I mean? And try to like.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and what I do definitely isn't easy. I'm fighting a massive uphill battle here. You know what I'm saying? I could use all you guys like a Goku's spirit bomb. I need you guys to fucking give me your energy. But okay, yeah. Here's my idea, my thoughts on what was it called again? Cookie cake? I forgot
Uh,
again. Icky kicky?
was it Isom?
No, you had this term for like TNA tits and ass
Cheesecake.
comics. Cheesecake. Okay, I need to remember this. Okay, sorry. Cheesecake. So as I was, maybe we should do this real quick. Can you go to like Kickstarter and kind of scroll, like click on the comics tab and kind of scroll, and we can kind of
Oh, you
see
just want to
what's
see
going
like
on
other
there.
comic book Kickstarters? Yeah. No,
Yes,
I did this. I did this
actual
exact
Kickstarter
same thing. It's like, look, the first one you got tits. Oh, you have orc tits too. The Witches of Odds and
There you
Nippy
go.
number one XXX Audica connecting covers.
There you
And
go.
this is the first
There you go.
one. This is 1,500% funded. It's a
Yes.
cheeky comic.
Isn't that
That one
nuts?
looks normal. Defective
Now
comments.
here's the thing. So here's the thing. So here's a thought of mine that I had because I was following one of my favorite animators, like a French animator, and I'm talking about this years ago. This is even before VTubers and all this type of shit popped off. Okay, so now obviously you've heard of artists. They do commission work, which is totally fine. You know what I'm saying? But when it starts to devolve into arts drawing porn, okay, now this is a controversial take. I think that's a form of prostitution, really. Okay, because and if you're a guy and you're asking another man to draw like some sex, like Pikachu sucking off another fucking thing, you're gay. It's kind of gay. Okay, so you're asking a guy to visualize some kind of a fantasy. Now, what I think is when you're supporting this cheesecake stuff, it's actually a gay act because you are supporting another man's visualized sex fantasies. You know what I'm saying? Can you sort of follow my train of thought here?
Yes, I've heard something similar where someone said that all porn is basically cuckoldry because you're jerking off to somebody else's sexual experience. I feel like
Yeah.
you're kind of on that vein.
That's true. Yeah, you're sitting in the corner jerking off to another guy fucking. That's true. That is sort of like cuckoldry from a distance. That is true. But I think this is specific. I think this is worse in a way, and people don't think of it this way. Okay, so I want to give you this example that I had of this French animator who sort of branched off, and he was one of the first that did this. He basically created a character. It's called like Justine or something. Fiction. It's like before VTubers, like a big titted woman, but she also had like
Was this in
she had,
recent
sort of
history
a-
or like mid '90s?
no. This is like maybe 5 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
So this guy, and by the way, this woman, if you look up this pic, Justine by Bullock is his name. Maybe I can type it in our chat real quick. Fuck, what is it? Bullock. That's the artist. Wait, real quick, you can pull up an example. Maybe I don't know. Justine Maxine. I think. Bullock. Yeah, this. Okay, look. Well, if you pull this up on Google Images or something, it's on X videos, which is blocked here in
God.
Indonesia. I'm in Bali.
Oh, I was going to ask. The I can't show this on screen because nipples show up. It's like a
Okay,
redheaded
okay.
character, and it's just like kill like kill. Is that
but
like,
it
just
is-
like fan art?
But it has a specific. No, this is his original character. She has a specific build. She has giant triple G tits with huge areolas. She has armpit hair, and she has a huge bush and hair around her asshole. Now you guys can Google this on your own time. You can see this character. I just did a pretty rudimentary job. But this is a specific type. Now this is the artist's type. He designed this character from his mind. Okay, he basically weird scienced his own little delicious fantasy woman. And what he did is he started a Patreon, and he hired a voice actress to just do this character's voice. Okay, so you
To
have
like
this before
puppeteer this
VTubers.
concept that he has.
Yes, and he made like little ASMR videos and stuff like that, and that became such a huge success. Okay, like that guy became a millionaire off of that. Okay, so like
Wow.
hundreds and hundreds of dudes subscribing to this shit to look at like an animated girl fingering herself or whatever the fuck she does. I don't know, but that is
But it's like one
I
big mutual
think-
masturbation session.
it's
Like everybody's
yes,
jerking
but
each
it's
other off
also
in a big room.
gay. It's also gay. Okay. Imagine this. It's the same as this. Imagine we only strip away the visual element. Okay. Now I've talked about this before, but And imagine I call you and I ask you, hey man, and I'm jerking off, and I ask you, just describe your sex fantasies to me, and I'm jerking off you describing your sex fantasy to
They
me.
do that.
That's what that
They
is.
do that. They do these in
That's what this
Discord
is.
things now. They jerk off and they talk about
No.
what porn. I'm telling you, they do it. It's a thing. It's called
Oh
gooning.
God. No, is that what gooning is?
Gooning is like edging for like hours at a time and just like watching porn constantly. But they get into Discord and they're all jerking off and they're all talking about like what porn they're watching together. Dude, the people are fucking weird now.
This is that people are weird now. No, that shouldn't be allowed. Like honestly, I tell a story on my stream. I told a story once when I was 16. I heard a rumor that like the guys a grade under me, that they were jerking off in the woods, and me and two other kids. Like I was a bully. Okay, so me and two other guys, two of my friends, we cycled into the woods, and lo and behold, we found that they had dragged like a secondhand couch into the woods, and they were jerking off. Okay.
Mhm.
And I walked in there, I was like, okay, well. What do we got here, guys? What are you doing? And then as a punishment, as a true bully, I threw all their bicycles off a cliff. And I said, don't let me ever catch you again.
Now I
doing
know
this
you're full
fucking
of shit. What fucking cliff? You're in the Netherlands as a kid,
Yeah, there's a
right?
cliff. What do you think? Why would you say, I never
no
ever
cliffs in the
tell a lie? Why would you ever doubt my words? This is true. You could ask them. You can ask those guys. There's a cliff. Yes, there's plenty of cliffs. There's like limestone mines and stuff in my area. I'm in. Okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm in the south of the Netherlands, Limburg, which is like a hilly area. You can pull up
Okay.
Limburg.
You are in the only part of the Netherlands where that story can work.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's in this. Yes, because you're right. And by the way, yeah, that's in the north of the Netherlands. Everything is completely flat. But where I'm from, in Limburg, it's literally, if you look at the map of the Netherlands, it looks like a tiny little droplet is dripping off into like Belgium and Germany. That's where I'm from. And it's like there's a lot of hills there. You can go
Yeah,
hiking.
literally
there,
the
even,
only
which I
place
didn't-
in the Netherlands that has hills. That little southern place.
Yeah. Lovely. But yeah, so and I think yes, we should bring bullying back for such occasions where a bunch of Zoomers are jacking off, sharing their.
I
porno
actually know
playlists.
exactly what you're talking about because I've made this point before and people got real mad at me because I hate anime. I just have like this passionate fucking hatred of it, and I hate people that watch it. And one of the things that I get really like.
We
like,
can
up
have a
in arms
debate
of-
about this because I think you're wrong. But
Well, give me a sec. What in particular, what I had an issue with was how people have these waifus, and I just said the exact same thing that you did. That you're basically fucking gay if your like ideal woman is like this fictitious girl from anime because she number one, she doesn't fucking exist, but number two, she's like the ideal woman conjured up by like an autistic Japanese man. So you're like sharing in this mutual masturbation fantasy about fucking that girl from Evangelion, the red-haired ones. Like, you know, that woman doesn't exist. She never existed. She came from an autistic Japanese man's mind, and you're both horny about it. So that's kind of like a psychological projection into homosexuality.
It's like a gay egregore. Yeah, it's like a mutual. You're putting like this weird sexual fantasy in this non-existent fictional character. Now, I agree with you with that. Okay, but where I always, whenever guys go like anime is wrong or anime is degenerate and stuff like that, anime is a genre. It would be the same thing as saying movies are bad because there's such thing as snuff or whatever. That's sort of the way I come from it. But yes, you're absolutely right in that example that you give. But again, and
What's
I
your
find there's a
favorite
lot.
anime?
Sorry.
This is how you sell your book. What's your favorite anime?
Berserk.
Berserk fans out there, Butch Killigan is like basically Berserk, but in the West.
Sort of, kind of. No, Butch Killigan is like if Paul Verhoeven made Berserk, sort of, maybe.
That's a sales pitch, man.
But I hate the sales pitch where you go like, yeah, it's sort of like Demolition Man
you don't like
meets.
that? Okay.
Yeah, but I guess maybe it illustrates the point.
I can respect that. Not wanting to do that.
Demolition Man meets Jacob's Ladder. No, now that's a sales pitch. But yeah, as directed by Paul Verhoeven. That's what Butch Killigan 2 is. Go back again. I need everybody to go back it and buy multiple copies. You can do an add-on. You get 20% off at checkout. Go do it. We need this thing to fucking explode, guys. I need to become the next Rippaverse. You think? That would be the universe correcting itself, because I'm actually a guy that actually cares and is actually doing something, being unshackled. I'm actually showing you what a comic could be without the influence from the top by those types of guys
If
with
you
the little
made
hats.
Ripa money, would you set up a studio in the U.S., in the Netherlands, or would you stay in Indonesia?
I don't even know. I'm not like the type of guy to fantasize. Like that's another thing that we were
Really?
goofing on. Was like Ripaverse, like yeah, and we're gonna have a cinematic universe, and yeah, it's gonna have 7 movies, and this is my casting list. It's like, come on, dude, well, can we just get a grip real quick? You're making a little stupid comic book. You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, hey, respect where it's due. He's making it kind of work and stuff. I guess he's got his thing. And again, you know what I'm saying? When I criticize something, I'm not trying to destroy it. I'm just giving you my honest view on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if it gets me in trouble.
Out of curiosity,
say stuff
I'm a
like
bit
that.
of a history nerd. Indonesia was held by the Dutch as a colonial possession
Ew.
at some point, right? Is there like
Yeah,
remnants of Dutch culture there? Do you feel
dude,
do you feel that at all?
there's a lot. Can I tell you? If you're a history buff, did you know? Remember during the Hitler's beer hall putsch,
Yes.
one of the main guys that was there with him when he got arrested and stuff. He also moved to Indonesia. He was here in one of the towns that I went to visit at one point. I forgot what his name is. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
One of his main fucking guys that was right there with him, one of the main 3 guys, I forget his fucking name. But anyways, yes, there's lots of remnants of Dutch culture here in their language. A lot of Dutch words. In Jakarta, there is like a major architectural influence in old. It was called Bavaria. Bavaria,
That was in
basically
Germany.
Jakarta before, or was it Bavaria or Batavia? Is that it?
Batavia, that sounds right.
Batavia. Batavia, that's what it was. Batavia. I'm thinking of the beer. I'm thinking of Bavaria beer. Yeah, that's Germany. No, yes, I got a little beer on the mind, figuratively and literally too. But yeah, Batavia, and so there's massive buildings there and stuff like that of the colonial past. Yeah,
That's cool because I know
major
like
influence still.
in Vietnam, like they got their alphabet from the French. They have French architecture. They have French coffee culture and stuff. So I was mildly curious when you said that. I'm like, I wonder how Dutch it is there in Indonesia.
It's pretty Dutch. I will say this. I was thinking about that kind of when I'm. Okay, one of the things that I love about living here, because I live in Bali, by the way, because Indonesia is one of the biggest Muslim countries in the world, which it's kind of
It's
like
like 100
coming from
million
the
people live
Netherlands,
there,
and
right?
oh yeah, and it's many different islands and different cultures and stuff like that. But yeah, coming from the Netherlands with all the problems that we have with like Muslim immigrants there, I do come more and more to the conclusion that I think when we have like Muslim when we in the Netherlands when you have like the right wing conservators criticizing Islam, I think it's a psyop because what we should be criticizing is the actual people we should be criticizing Arabs. That's the thing. Because the people
Really?
here, these Asian Muslims, they're not at all as fucking crazy as the people that we have to deal with en masse in our European towns. They would never rape anyone. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that
That's an
has to do with your.
interesting perspective. I have my personal issue with Islam is just that it's canonical that Muhammad married a 9-year-old. He married a 6-year-old and then consummated it at 9. I just can't get over that. Like, yeah, how can you call
Listen, I
that
think
guy
it's
a
complete
prophet?
fucking garbage. I think honestly, personally, I think every Abrahamic religion, who gives it? But I think the more interesting point here would be, I can see the difference between the different kinds of quote unquote Muslims, basically. You know what I'm saying? And I can
Yeah,
definitely, and I think the reason why in our European countries, the institutional power and the political power at large wants to keep the discussion away from immigration, obviously, and make it about this specific religious sect, is because a certain other type of other would also be having the spotlight shown onto them. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what we're dealing with.
yeah, I've heard that. I can kind of see that point. I just feel like
Yeah.
criticizing Islam is like a form of soft racism. Because when you say you can criticize Islam, you're not talking about the guy in Ireland that has the big bushy ginger beard. You're talking about the fucking Arabs. You're talking about like the Southeast
Yeah,
Asians and
but
stuff.
again, Indonesia factually is the biggest goddamn Islamic country. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
true.
So you do kind of have to make that distinction. And I think another thing, if we want to talk then about the racial difference between, for instance, an Arab and like an Southeast Asian Muslim is Arabs because they don't practice. It's a different type of Islam. For instance, here the ancestral you gotta marry your first cousin or whatever the fuck. They don't do that here. That's outlawed. Okay, so it's like they pick and choose with their little laws. And I think the reason we're having so much trouble with our particular Muslims in Europe is because they're of the incestual lineage. And what do you get when you have like 4 generations of like incest? You get like crazy testosterone bombed, low IQ mongoloids that like to stab and fuck.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I
That
think
sounds about right. I'm sure that Indonesians are chill compared to Arabs.
Excuse me, sorry, I was talking over you. Sorry about that. What were
No,
you
I just
saying?
said I can believe that the Indonesians are much more chill than like if you tried to live in fucking Iran or something, you'd probably not have a good time.
No. No, I don't think you would. I would never live in Iran. But yeah, the people here are super nice. But again, as I was saying, I live in Bali, Indonesia, which is more like Hindu. I didn't even know what the fuck it is. It's like a lot of swastikas everywhere, by the way, which is funny. Every little temple, every little corner has a little shrine with a giant swastika on it. So
It means
I think it's like,
peace.
is that like Hindu or Buddhist or whatever?
Um, yes, the swastika is actually. I think it.
Sanskrit.
I know that
Sanskrit.
it's Confucian as well. The swastika. So it's just that it's like a Pan-Asian symbol of peace. It's everywhere. It's all the way from Japan all the way to India. So it's like a Pan-Asian thing, and it literally just means peace. But for some reason, there's a weird story to it. Why Hitler thought that the swastika was a Aryan symbol because of the Indians. But technically, if you refer to the German swastika, you should call it the Hakenkreuz because that's how you distinguish the Asian one and
Hakenkreuz, which literally means the cross with hooks.
the healed
That's
cross is what it
means.
means in German.
No, hak means hook. Listen,
But in German,
I
it
know,
means
I speak
healed.
German.
Really?
Hakenkreuz is hooked cross.
Okay, I'll take your word on it because you do. I didn't know you spoke German. I thought you just spoke Dutch.
Well, again, where I live in the southern part of the Netherlands,
Yeah,
basically
there's
I
a
speak a
crossover.
Dutch dialect, which is indistinguishable from German, basically. Where, like, if I speak my dialect to a regular Dutch guy, they wouldn't know what the fuck I was talking about. They couldn't follow a single word. And it's
That's
basically like
funny.
because I live in the border region, it's like it's like an amalgamation of like Dutch and German, basically.
Oh, you're on like a
Yeah,
really. That's a weird place. How did you settle on this island? Because it's like it's in. When I picture Indonesia in my head, right, it's like this huge archipelago. I think I pronounced that right.
Mhm.
And you just pick like one really small island. It looks like it's maybe the size of like Massachusetts or something in the dead center of it.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, it is very small. Now, I've traveled here a bunch to Bali specifically, and again, in the Dutch culture and lexicon, Indonesia is like a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the discussion still because of our colonial past. Now, my wife is from Jakarta originally, and then we decided. I'm talking about you, by the way, with my wife. She's bringing me a pack of cigarettes. Thank you. Throw it for me. Oh, thank you so much. So yes, I'm a rice cooker, as
I was going to ask, is
My
your wife
chick is
Indonesian?
yeah. She is Indonesian. She's a 10. I should send you a picture of her.
As is
But yes,
tradition, is
she's a
the
trad
Asian
wife.
wife.
Indonesian wife. She's not like some. So yeah, we dated for a whole bunch, and then I visited a bunch of times, and we went to Jakarta a bunch of times, and then I was like, I work from home. I don't have to go to the office all day long. So I was just like, let's switch shit up. I was at my old apartment in the Netherlands for 8 years, 8 to 10 years. I forget exactly how long I lived there. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just come live there for a while. And I'm planning to live here. So we got a little 2-bedroom apartment now. We're kind of looking to upgrade slowly. I'm getting my bearings. But I made my whole new studio in here too, and I really like it. I'm really loving the vibe. I was gonna say what I love the most is the driving here, because okay, I'm gonna give you a chance to interject first because you probably want to say something.
No, if I said anything, I just say that I lived in the Philippines for a while. I'm sure that
Oh, you
Indonesia
did?
yeah, I lived there for about 7 months because I was working on 8chan
Oh,
and they were headquartered in Manila. So I was there for about
yeah.
7 months and then I moved
Mm,
to Europe. I've been bouncing around in Europe for a while.
I see it. Have you been to the Netherlands? No.
No, I've wanted to go. The closest I've been to the Netherlands is Denmark.
That's not that close. But
No,
okay, sure,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
That's pretty far, goddamn far. But Listen, if you go to the Netherlands, please go to Maastricht. Fuck Amsterdam. Amsterdam is degenerate shit. It's all dildos and weed. Fuck that shit. Go to Maastricht. That's the greatest place. That's my city where I came from, Maastricht. That's where I used to live. It's where what is it like a cool Maastricht fact? Yeah, you know the Three Musketeers.
Yes.
You know D'Artagnan, the leader of the Three Musketeers. He got fucking shot in the face there on our city wall. That's one cute little fact.
Oh, dude, you're right. You're
So-
all the way down, like as far south as you can go in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's like a little drop that's gonna. And the funny thing is, now that I'm in Bali, we're also on the most southern part of Bali. It's almost like the same thing. And it's also a lot of hills here where I'm at right now in Bali. But Philippines is more like Portuguese and American influence, I believe, right? Rather
No,
than
Spain. It was first a
Spain.
colonial possession of Spain. It was occupied by Japan for a brief time, and it was occupied by America in two different time periods. So it's
Okay,
actually
yeah.
super heavily Americanized. But the craziest thing about the Philippines is that when people talk in Tagalog, they sound like they're speaking Spanish, and you would never know the difference unless you actually knew some Spanish to pick out that they're not actually speaking Spanish. It's like they've super adopted and integrated like the way that Spanish people speak.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, and it's like Catholic, right? Catholic.
It's
not
super. It's the
Muslim.
most Catholic place in the world, besides maybe the Vatican, and it's the only place besides the Vatican that divorce is still not legal. If you want to,
That's odd.
yeah, if you want to get divorced in the Philippines, you have to get an annulment, which is like a European history thing, is knowing about the corruption and getting the Pope to certify an annulment. And it's the same thing, same traditional Catholic corruption, where you have to pay the government and say like, no, totally, we never had sex ever, we never consummated the marriage, and then
Yeah.
if you
There's
pay enough,
similar things here. There's similar things here though, because it's also like you're not allowed to
Yeah.
divorce under certain circumstances as well over here. But I think it's like, I think there's like certain. I think it's like, yeah, if you like knock a girl up, you cannot divorce during the pregnancy, but then after the pregnancy you can figure something out. Stuff like that, like weird
Really?
shit like that too. Yeah, I think. Which is that's pretty based. Do you think it's pretty?
yeah, that's kind of smart, because it's like, well, you guys, you're stuck together for 9 months now, so you might as well. It
Yeah,
gives you an
fuck yeah, you
opportunity
better
to make
figure
things
it
work.
out.
Yeah.
You got 9 months to figure something out. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think yeah, if you're an American, you'd probably be more easily integrated in the Philippines. But I think as a Dutch guy, because I think it definitely helps with like the fact that I live here now. Like I don't know, like I'd have zero homesickness or anything, and also in the back of my head, I know I will return at some point to the motherland. Obviously, I'm never going to stay here forever, but it makes it easier to just kind of see like, hey, look, this is where my guys, my niggas were here at some point. You know what I'm saying? We established this place. We
Does
laid
anyone
down
speak
some of the
Dutch?
infrastructure.
Or is it just English?
No, I haven't encountered anyone who speaks Dutch, to be honest. But I haven't even tried, to be honest. They all speak English. They speak English pretty fairly
Yeah,
well.
the same in the Philippines. They all speak English. I know that there's some that speak German still in Namibia, because there was like a small part of Africa that was a German colonial possession for a brief time. So
Yeah, and of course, South Africa is Dutch, right? The Boers, they're
yes,
all Dutch.
yes, there's a lot of
They're
Boers.
Dutch.
In
They need to
both,
come back home. We need to get
Yeah,
instead
I don't
of
know.
mass.
They're so
Muslim
thick.
immigration, we
Is
need
that
to
like
get
a
them.
Dutch thing, like being thick-headed and not wanting to get the fuck out of a country that's trying to kill you and your entire family?
Probably. They're extremely. And I mean, they kind of have a point. You know what I'm saying? Like they cultivated.
I
That
mean, they were
land,
they
like,
were
what
there
the fuck?
before the Africans came, because there's like that huge, I think it's the Gobi Desert, which is just north of South Africa, and it kept out the
not sure.
Africans from the Cape of I think it's the Cape of Good Hope, which is where South Africa is, and it kept them out until the white people colonized it. So they have a point in saying that they are the indigenous people of South Africa, but it's like you kind of lost that one. There's no hope for that shit.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I think we should take all them. But I see somebody in the chat. He says, Sven, that your ancestors collaborate with the Nazis. Now, here's a funny story. So, the city that I'm from is called Maastricht. My hometown is Valkenburg, which is like the Falconsburg, I guess. It's a little castle town. It's like a castle ruin on top of the hill.
You know
And
who's
then
a Von
there's
Valkenburg?
Uh-huh.
Zoe Quinn from Gamergate. She's Chelsea Von Valkenburg.
Is she Jewish? No, that couldn't be. She's Dutch?
I'm not.
She's von Valkenburg?
Yeah, that's her real name, Von Valkenburg. She's your royal. You say queen or princess,
crazy.
Zoe Quinn.
That's nuts. I should bow down. But yeah, I was gonna say this. So that town had a huge Hitler Jugend school in it. You can Google it. Valkenburg, Valkenburg, Valkenburg. It had a huge. It was like an old Jesuit monastery at some point. Then the Nazis came in. They kicked all the Jesuits out, and they made it into a big Hitler Jugend school. And Himmler visited my town, my hometown, many, many times in that era. And I think it was supposed to be because we're in such a border region between all the between like Germany and Belgium and all that stuff. That was like a big hot spot of for like the Hitler Jugend because they wanted to Germanify the region, I
Yeah,
guess. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think Germany wanted Luxembourg,
Mm.
Alsace-Lorraine, your area of the Netherlands, and then part of Belgium to be
Yeah.
a part of Germany formal. And they wanted to make a
Hmm.
Reichskommissarat out of both Belgium and the Netherlands. They
Yeah.
did with Denmark because Denmark surrendered in 6 hours. So they just like said, okay, you can still be self-governed, I guess. We're not going to fuck with you. And so Denmark was not fucked with for the entirety of World War II.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you can Google pictures and you can see Himmler marching around my little town there, which is kind of. I only found out about that like 2 years ago. I didn't know that, and I remember. Okay, the reason I found out about that was this because I remember I was part of my town's Facebook group, which is like handy whenever there's like a little problem. You can get like a warning or whatever to fuck on your Facebook group. It's all boomers. And I remember I saw like a request in my town's Facebook group by like a Jewish documentary filmmaker who was writing a book about Valkenburg, and he was doing a request to look into families, the Dutch families that live in Valkenburg, into their like family archives and pictures and stuff like that to write about the Nazi history
Or to
of
try
our
to
town.
shame everybody that fucking lives there. Okay.
Yeah, so here's a funny thing. A couple of months later, he had a huge article in our like a regional newspaper where he was like, disappointed. Zero people replied to my like nobody worked with him. So that kind of tells you, kind of like the
Who
vibe
the
in that
fuck wants
town.
to out their family?
Yeah,
Because a lot of
yeah,
a lot of people didn't. They just worked with the government that was in charge at the time. They didn't give a fuck if it was the
yeah,
Americans or
exactly.
the British or the Germans or the Dutch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to make glass bottles here. I don't give a fuck. you know.
Yes, exactly. There was no national news. You barely had any idea what the fuck was going on. I remember the worst thing my grandpa had to say about the Nazis when they took over our town was he had this story of like he was a kid. He was like he lived in a monastery, and then at one point a Nazi officer commanded him to hand over his bicycle because there was some kind of emergency, and then basically a Nazi stole his bicycle, which was his new. And he was like that was like the
The,
worst thing
the only
he
other N
encountered.
word, the other N words taking the bikes. You gotta watch out for them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, now there's a lot more different types of N words. Yeah, the cause of a lot of bike disappearances in my town. Well,
Okay,
actually, my town is doing pretty okay.
there's two things I want to ask you. Number one, I want to give like
Yeah.
ask you what your opinions are of certain people, just really rapid fire. Like, what do you think of this
Oy
guy?
vey.
Just a
Oy
couple
vey.
people, because I know that you're doing the rounds, so I'm gonna create some friction. And the other one
Okay,
is
okay, cool. Let's do it.
I'm a big fan of silver coins, in particular old currency. So I have a request because
Mhm.
I know that the Dutch brought the gift of civilization and thereby the gift of silver coinage to the Indonesian people.
Uh-huh.
If you
Uh-huh.
find any old silver coins, I would really, really like them. If you just happen to find one, like on a flea market, because
Really? Okay.
if you can, because you can go online and buy them, but that's not fun. It's fun to go out to flea markets and hunt them down. So if you just happen to come across them
Okay.
for whatever reason, I'm always open
Okay.
to them.
I've actually been buying some gold and oh yeah, I've been buying some gold and silver. And I bought some gold and silver coins, but I have them in like a vault in Zurich. But wait, what
Yeah.
are you just said I want to get your opinion on some guys that want to cause friction, and then you asked me to buy a silver coin? What the
That's
fuck is
how it
that
works.
about? Is this some kind of a reference to something?
No, it's not. I just
You
like silver.
legitimately want me to buy you a silver coin? I'll buy you a silver coin.
Yeah, if you
want it.
happen across it, if by
This is
circumstance,
this is some kind of a deep cut, like mad
It's
at
not.
the internet lore thing.
I just like silver coins. I have an entire box of Paul von Hindenburgs. Okay, I like them.
What the fuck does that have to do with like shitting on other guys?
It's just the last two things I was going to say. I saved them towards the end of the conversation.
Okay,
There's no
look.
grand architecture conspiracy here.
Okay, then,
You're like
well,
on high
hey,
alert.
listen,
Like I'm going after you.
no,
I'm not.
it seems like such a non sequitur. Listen, we're gonna cause some trouble here. Who do you hate? And then I get, okay, let's go. And I go, can you get me some coins of a flea market? And, yeah, sure, I'll get you some. That's what
just
you
how I
want.
roll. Okay.
I would. By the way, listen, I actually like the idea. I might go to a flea market and get some coins, and maybe I'll keep some and I'll send you some.
That sounds like a plan. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Okay, who do I hate? Shoot.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
What's your opinion on Ethan Van Sciver?
Ethan Van Sciver?
Yeah, Sciver, whatever you pronounce that.
Okay, so first of all, I need to tell you this, right? First, I'm an island. I rarely like network with anybody or anything like that. I've learned my lesson of that when I used to be with Red Bar. And by the way, I read some of I joined Kiwi Farms. By the way, the Kiwi Farms forums, I joined them. And yeah, I read through some of the threads about Red Bar Radio, which was kind of funny. I'm the hero in every story on Kiwi Farms, which was funny to read. You don't know about any of that history, do you?
I'm vaguely aware of Red Bar because there were some clips that were sent to me, and I know he did that DuckTales song, which is also one of my favorite things of all time.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I'm in the background giggling on that DuckTales.
Is that you? There's no way.
Yes, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
That's unreal. I did not know that.
I was on that call. Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
me,
God.
On that call. It was just an on-the-fly thing that we did back then.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's me. But yeah, so that thing, I rarely like do like a full association thing or anything like that. Now, Ethan Van Sciver, what do I think of him? Like, again, I know fairly little about Comicsgate or anything like that, honestly. When I was talking to Ethan Van Sciver, I had to ask a guy in my Discord, like, can you give me the quick rundown? Now, I understand that's not very exciting. So I don't know any of the deep lore. So
that's fine.
Understand. But I would say something. But I would say, yeah, he's a complete fucking faggot. But I just really don't know. I don't know that much.
That is a perfectly acceptable answer. No, I'm not disappointed at all.
It might be a lot of answers, and not because I'm lying or afraid. I will fucking throw someone under the bus. I'll piss, shit, poo on their face. I mean, really, don't give a fuck. But I just don't know a lot of this stuff. I don't know a lot of the deep lore. Because I'm not really that much of a drama guy. I specifically, because here's the thing, people expect me, and this, by the way, this is kind of went by the wayside. There was a big leaked phone call between after my falling out with Red Bar. It's a whole story.
You had a falling out.
Oh yeah. But
then that's tragic.
I was bringing up I was JQing on the last time that I visited him, and we did a live show. I started JQ, and he went to break, and he told me not to bring up his tribesmen.
Yeah, he's Jewish. You can tell by looking at him.
Yeah. I got a talking to several times. Now, then everything went black, and we had a big falling out. It's a huge thing. But I wish him well. I wish him the best. I really don't give a fuck. So here's the thing. Usually what happens with something like that, when like a duo has a falling out, then one guy starts shitting on the other guy, and then they start to sort of grift on the drama. Now, I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm very much doing my own shit. I don't want to, it just feels like it's beneath me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like a drama farmer type of guy.
Yeah, that's respectable. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and I don't really pay much attention to that. So there's a lot of like I'm sure you know about like Kino Casino. That's what these guys do, right? Now, again, I don't have a problem with these guys. Good luck to them. But it's not my type of content. Now, I'll get in beef sometimes, but it's like organic. I'm not like seeking it out. That's not my.
What's your exposure to Kino Casino and PPP? I'm kind of curious because you brought it up now.
Oh well, here's how I know about that. Because one time, what's his name again? Not the fat guy, but the other guy.
Andy Worski.
Worski. He one time called into Red Bar Radio while I was still co-hosting. He was like, "Oh my god!" He was so excited because Red Bar Radio was his biggest example, influence, and stuff like that. And then we completely shat on him and embarrassed him and watched that video of him go like, "Put the gun down, I'm gonna shoot," or something like that. What was that again? That shit? Like that's just,
Stay back!
yeah.
Stay the
Look,
fuck back!
yes. That whole thing, and we completely embarrassed him, and it went sort of viral, I think. That's what I know about that situation.
Is he
I
upset
just kinda
about
know-
that? Because it's like part of his lore now. He's perfectly okay with that.
Sure, probably. Like, listen, and again, I'm not exaggerating when I say I literally know nothing. I know nothing. That's all I know. I don't watch stuff like that.
You
Because I
guys say
do
that
think
way.
what they do is they use okay. So this is what I'm starting to notice. Even with like a guy like Ethan Ralph, who I do like. Now, you probably don't.
Oh,
Ethan Ralph?
Ethan and I have a long history. I was going to ask you about him too.
Mm. I do like Ethan Ralph. He's always been really good to me, nice to me. So I got to just pay my respects to the guy then. You know what I'm saying? If a guy's
Yeah.
nice to me, I'm nice back.
For sure.
But
That's
you
how most people are.
probably you have a big problem with him? What happened?
Oh God. So a long
Oh,
time ago,
fuck.
years
Oh,
ago,
shit.
all I did, I said something like, I can't remember the context of it, but I said we have to sacrifice Ethan Ralph to the corn, and that became like a huge deal, and he has like hated me ever since. And I've made him like a facet of my podcast because I don't know if you know like what he's been up to, but
No.
he impregnated like an 18-year-old, and then he got into a huge
what?
beef with her baby daddy, and then
Oh.
then he knocked up somebody who was like a female to male transsexual, and then who became like a regular woman again. No, for real.
Oh, God, don't say this stuff. Don't
If
say
you don't
stuff
want,
like that.
if you want to know, look, I won't go on. I don't want to
Don't tell me
spoil
this.
this.
I'm going to be doing kill stream too, I think, since I'm making around. I have
Okay.
to bring this up. How about, look, okay, wait, here's what I was thinking first,
You
real
don't
quick.
have
okay?
to.
Or do you want to continue
purge
with
your
this? With
purge
the,
your mind. Forget I said anything.
I'll try to forget about that. But here's what I think though, when I look at like Kino Casino or like Killstream and stuff like that, I see Americans, because I'm looking at this from an outsider's perspective, and I see a lot of guys that are around my age, and they grew up with wrestling, right?
Yes.
And they're doing an online show, and they understand through osmosis, through absorbing that media, which, by the way, I've never seen a second. Okay, I've seen a second of wrestling. Never watched a full WWE match. It's fucking gay to a European. You understand? We're not going to get into it. I'm going to offend a lot of people probably in this chat. I understand it's like an American constitution. That's your guys' thing. It's fine, okay? But what I'm talking about is these shows, they try to incorporate these aspects. So I just think like at a certain point, in these guys' minds, it makes sense to just have the beef arc with a guy. You know what I'm saying? Now we're
Yeah.
beefing. So when you say, like, you mentioned something, he's like one of the children of the corn, and he just takes it, oh, yeah. Well, let me smash this guy down, brother. That's sort of the way I see it. It's like content. It's not even
Dude,
real. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. But that's
it's real.
what I
It's
think.
just like it's true. It's less that they do try to drum some things up to make them a bigger deal than they are, but it is true that there's like a wrestling mindset which has permeated like internet drama culture, and
Yeah.
it just influences how they make decisions, and it's a really weird thing. And I've noticed this and pointed it out too. So I'm kind of amused that you've kind of fallen on that, where it's like there's all these guys who are just like they want to be whoever the fuck that big guy was that was the host of the WWE. They want to like run
Vince
their
McMahon.
yeah, Vince McMahon. They want to be Vince McMahon. And it's like a weird.
Yeah.
It's totally true. It's spot on.
Yeah. Okay. So this is reminding me of another thing. So as a European, right? So you absorb internet content. So this type of stuff I see. I just felt this WWE drama farming type of entertainment thing coming through. And then on the other end, and I'm sure you've covered these types of guys. I'm sure you know about like the whole nostalgia critic, that whole channel awesome cringe type of shit, early internet stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Those types of guys, what I noticed there is every one of those guys, whereas like guys like Ethan Ralph have like the WWE permeating through them, they always have like mystery science theater. That's the thing, which is another thing I've never seen a single thing of. But I just through osmosis, just through I don't know how you catch up on this type of stuff as a European. You just see themes happening in this internet cultural niche. And that's what I noticed with like a early like reviewers like Spoonie and Angry Video Game Nerd and these type of guys. They love mystery science theater somehow. What do you think about that? Have you thought about that before?
Yeah, I've never attributed it to Mystery Science Theater. It's true. If you don't know, it's like this thing where it's just like they watched really bad movies and they kind of had like these silhouettes of the characters making jokes throughout the movie,
Yeah.
and that show got destroyed by the American copyright law system. But it definitely had like a huge impact on people and how they review stuff.
So that's one of the examples. So again, we got a lot of American media in Europe, but that's one of the examples that we didn't get. And then through the people that got influenced by that, I learned about their influence basically, even though it was like it was covertly. It's a really weird thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you've seen so much derivative shit of something that you've never watched the original of that you already know what the original is. It's kind of like with
exactly.
Romeo and Juliet. You never have to read Romeo and Juliet because you've seen so many things based off of that you know exactly what the fuck happens to it.
Yes, basically. By the way, I've never seen Star Wars, and I know that fucking Darth Vader is the guy's dad.
Really?
You know,
That's whenever I hear someone hasn't watched Star Wars, that kind of impresses me because it's such like an international thing too, like the obsession with Star Wars.
No, but here's the thing. I remember when the re-releases came out in the '90s, the late '90s. I had a birthday party. It was my birthday party, and my mom dropped us off in the theater to watch the first Star Wars movie. I forget what it's called, Empire Strikes Back or whatever. I don't know, Jedi something. And we were being so loud in the theater because it was just it is kind of boring. Honestly, it is just kind of boring. That's the way I remember it, at least. Maybe I'd enjoy it more nowadays, but so we got kicked out of the theater, out of the cinema, and we were like.
The
11?
manager saved you from being like a Star Wars fanboy.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So we were eating like hot dogs and food and stuff like that. And here's the thing. They kicked us out. And then I don't know if we discovered this, but one of my friends was like, hey, look, if you put your finger down your throat, you can vomit up your food. And we were all putting our fingers down our throat and vomiting, okay? So now there's all these piles of vomit in front of the theater. And then one of the theater clerks comes out and is like, get the fuck out of here, get the fuck out. So we just kind of scattered into the city, right? Now, this is a bunch of 10 years old. We're in the big city. Now, my mom, she dropped us off at the cinema for my birthday party. And she watched us go inside. And then she went shopping in the city.
Yeah.
Expecting when she came back after an hour and a half, after 90 minutes, to come pick us up again. Now, when she arrived there, to her amazement, there was a person cleaning up puke in the front of the cinema, and the kids were gone. Now, she's responsible for like 8 kids, and we were gone. Now, I don't remember the exact details, but I do remember this was like a huge disaster back then. That got me a good whooping when I got home. You know?
That's crazy. You should
She had to
animate
come
that
find us.
story because it's very visual.
It's such an insulting thing. Oh, you know what you should do? How about you animate that thing, okay? You fucking bitch. Hey, you know what you should do instead of telling that story? How about you animate it? I can't get back to that.
I'm just saying it has a very clear visual storytelling to it. Okay, I'm trying to help you out here, and you're taking offense to it.
Yeah, okay. That's just when I think of Star Wars. That's my Star Wars experience. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really ever watched it.
No, I get it. It kind of makes sense why your stuff is so different from a lot of other people's work. Is just because you've managed to somehow just incidentally separate yourself from so many of the influences that normal people watch, and you're just like inundated in like European culture and European stuff. And it's
you're wrong.
No?
You're wrong.
I'm
Here's,
wrong.
I'll
Okay.
tell you this. No, you're sort of right. But here's a funny anecdote about the European, or like specifically about the Netherlands. Okay. So I remember talking about this before, and Americans noted like, holy shit, in the Netherlands in the '90s, these were the sitcoms on my little Dutch boy television in American language, because the Netherlands is the only country in Europe that does not dub over American shows. So that's why I speak English fairly well, is because I grew up with like English Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but with subtitles. Whereas if you go to Germany, it's like, oh, with no subs. But I got this is like the gamut of shows that were on my Dutch Boy TV. Okay, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, The Cosby Show, The Jamie King Show with Jamie Foxx, The Wayans Brothers, Martin with Martin Lawrence. We even had one. I forget what the fuck it's called. The guy that what's that black guy? Another black. It was like one black sitcom after the other. That's what I grew up with. Blacks. I thought everybody in America was black growing up.
Was BET like a Dutch station or something? Why is all
this was regular, normal Dutch syndicated TV that just aired these shows?
That's weird. That's super weird.
And then isn't that fucking strange?
Maybe
so
just like
if your theory was right, I would just be making black comedy right now.
No, maybe the issue was that what you were exposed to just repulsed you to American culture, and so you actively sought to avoid it whenever possible, and that's how you ended up to where you were.
I will say this. When I watched all these black shows, it was literally one black sitcom after the other, interjected with like The Nanny, maybe, and Al Bundy. Just complete 90s misery and degeneracy, basically. I don't know if you would call it degeneracy, but it wasn't really like elevating the human spirit, something like Al Bundy. It's just miserable. So you would see Al Bundy being miserable, interjected with like blacks having a lot of good times. And I don't think I was like rejecting it, but it was really kind of obvious to me that there were sort of, even in my young, stupid kid brain, I was like, this is a little much. I remember thinking that, like, what the fuck is everything's black. I remember thinking that because it was really overtly so. And I remember talking to Americans about this, about our television schedule, and they were like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, here, the Tracy Morgan show we had. The Tracy Morgan show. You know that black guy?
Yeah, it's kind of a known thing in the U.S. that like in the 90s and 2000s, because what had happened is that the saccharine, like wholesome sitcom was like a 80s thing, and then in the 90s they kind of turned that on its head, starting with The Simpsons, where you had dysfunctional families, stupid fathers, absentee fathers, strong, controlling mothers, and the kids were usually like problemed and they had issues, but then at the same time, on black television, they were kind of just copying the 80s thing, but for black families to try and give them what they had saw for white television. So that's why you see that, is because they were deliberately trying to like satirize wholesome television at the same time that black people were just trying to emulate it.
Yeah, they were like raising the morale on black people because they felt that was needed in that community, whereas they were satirizing and subverting like the happy-go-lucky nuclear family style shows from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But then again, another aspect of that, next to like the cliche tropes of that, because, and by the way, here's the thing. Those tropes have never succeeded. They're still around. Okay, so the dumb white guy and like the divorcee and the degenerate kids, those sitcom tropes are still around. You know what I'm saying? So they've never like course corrected that or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But another thing that happened in the 90s is too, you start to slowly see like gay couples and more divorce and lesbianism and all that type of stuff. They're normalizing homosexuality and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know they did that. Okay, you know, in the Martin show, he was cross-dressing as every single character, but sort of like Eddie Murphy would be doing in his movies.
Okay, I got two more people I want a fast opinion on, and then I think that's the point to wrap it up. Dick Masterson.
What a fucking faggot! No. I'm going to be appearing on Dick Masterson on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm having an appearance on Dick Masterson Sunday.
And
you have a problem with him?
I have a problem with everybody. Rather, everybody has a problem with me too.
Okay.
What about Vito, his co-host?
Okay, so again, I'll tell you. Here's the truth. Right, I always speak the truth. I asked because I appeared on Dick Masterson without Vito last year during my comic book launch.
Now,
what I've seen about Dick Masterson is that he He was also shitting on Rippaverse and stuff like that, which I kind of thought was kind of cool. You know, but again, I'm not a guy that tunes into the podcast really at all. You know what I'm saying? So I just know through osmosis. I know things. But you're about to tell me that Dick Maston has like 15 illegitimate black children and he fucking strangled a baby in a bathtub.
I'm not gonna tell you anything. I think it's best. I
But-
think you gotta live
Okay.
innocent.
What I heard about Vito is he's like a pedophile type of guy or something like that. I don't know. He's a pedophile, and what I know about Vito too is like he created Okay, wait. I gave Vito some tips and DMs a little bit when he started his comic book. I was like, listen, because he asked a question on. Okay, let me remember this correctly. He asked a question on Twitter. He was like, he put like some kind of a retro filter on his book, and it was like, what do you guys prefer, with or without retro filter? And all my alarm bells went off. I'm like, dude. So I had to DM him because of my professional concern. I was like, listen, don't put a retro filter on your fucking comic book. I'm like, how are you going to print it? If you're going to print your comic on this and this type of paper, you're already going to have that sort of retro look that you want organically. So if you add a retro filter, that's going to fuck up. So I just felt the need to just kind of help him. And what I remember from that conversation was that he says, oh, who's doing your lettering? I said, me. He's like, and who does your inks? I'm like, me. And I remember him saying, oh, wow, that's a lot of hats. That's what I remember from Vito. And then I know he's a raging pedophile.
The short with his.
I'm not saying that. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not saying that.
I'm not trying to
never
get you
say
in
something
trouble.
like
I
that.
promise.
I never say something like that. You can get me in trouble. I can give a fuck, dude.
His issue is that if you were to be as generous as humanly possible to Vito, what he did is that he wanted to get attention. So when that movie Cuties came out, he and Dick made like a bunch of jokes about how it's like the best movie ever. And he went on and on about defending the right to life of pedophiles who do like all this shit to get like attention and in the most generous interpretation possible. And that kind of miasma of being the cuties guy and being the pedophile and the guy associated with Max Carson who also did a thing about cuties. It's like that's their issue. It's like if you were to try and advocate for them, is that they stuck their whole face up to their fucking neck in shit. And now they smell like shit, and it's difficult for them to kind of recover from that. So.
Gotcha. Now, again, I literally am not familiar with the guy at all. I just told you exactly what I know about this guy. Now, if he defended, if he's like literally, because I've heard some guys look something like Cuties comes along, and again, listen, I'm such a bad person to talk about this type of stuff because I have never watched Cuties. Whenever stuff like that happens, I see it for what it is. It's sort of like this again. It's like this drama farming type of thing. To me, when Cuties came out, I was just okay. Here's the thing of the week. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I remember of Cuties, what was Cuties again? It was like a couple that had like sexualization of little kids.
It was like it was released in French. It was called Les Mignons or whatever. It just means like the littles, I want to say. Or like I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was like supposed to be about like French African kids coming of age. But it was mostly the thing that people commented about was that there was a lot of crotch shots of like little girls in leotards dancing, and it was very weird and obviously sexualized. Okay.
Well, that's obviously bad. Oh yeah, wasn't it like I think Sneeko? Wasn't he also a guy that defended that movie? Because wasn't it like the narrative in the movie was like. I mean, I could be wrong, right? Just tell me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like the movie sort of like depicted degeneracy of like the West, and then like the African kids showed like the Western girls how not to twerk and be Muslim or something? Was that what it was, or no? I might be completely off.
No, I don't. Sneeko was like a Muslim, so he was like defending. I think I don't remember Sneeko's drama. I'm not familiar with him, but there was supposed to be like a culture clash thing where it's like American dancing is clashing with East African Muslim. Traditions, and that was the point on paper.
What I hear, what bothered me about this, if I would have to look into the situation, I already know what would bother me about this is that this is some kind of a lesbian feminist that got funded by the French government, and another person with a really good idea, proper movie idea, got snubbed out because he didn't check all the diversity boxes, and then this was to whoever has like the big government taxpayer art fund in Paris. they decided to go with one of their communist nepotistic fucking friends, and they gave some fucking lesbian a bunch of money to make like a movie about immigration, a reconciliation. That's what that sounds like to me. I might be completely off. And then to me, what I hear when people start fucking having internet debates about that, you're actually you're part of the problem, because you're proving to these commies that have subverted the entire art scene, who are wasting taxpayer monies and subsidies, that this, oh, see, it's causing a debate, you know. Now, if they're actually showing like child porn and that, obviously they should all be fucking put on their knees and have like a little, you know, a little. I'm not gonna Fed post right now, but that would be my opinion.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't trying to like drag you into the muck of debating cuties, because like I don't. It's like 4 years fucking old at this point. I'm just
a
letting.
3-year-old movie.
Yeah, I'm just. I kind of wanted to. I don't know. Maybe it was a.
Cause a lot of trouble with me when I have to appear on that show, and they go, "Hey, Josh, you told Josh that he was a pedophile." Listen, again, I can deal with that shit. I really don't care. You can go ahead. Really, I can take it. We'll do it. If they cancel my appearance, they're gonna be sorry for that. And I don't think they won't. They wouldn't do that.
They want you. You're like
Listen.
You're a boon. You're a boon to their show.
Boon.
You're a boon to their show, like a good thing.
Right. Listen. Yeah. If he's a pedophile, you know what? I'll ask him about it. I'm like, listen, I've been hearing you're a pedophile. What is that about?
I mean, if you do that, I'll play the clip. I'll take the response. I'll play it.
Listen, dude, I'm genuine. Now that I've heard that he's a pedophile, I'll go listen. Dude, by the way, Vito, I've been hearing you're a pedophile. What is that about? We'll ask him that.
Yeah. Okay.
But it has to be genuine. I'm not gonna like if everybody starts. Oh, here's the rundown on Vito. This is what he did. I kind of don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? I'll ask him about it. Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. I mean, I'd be curious to see what he says. As far as Ralph goes, I don't know. Ralph is just Ralph. You know, he's not really changed all that much. Like some weird shit's happened with him that people will give him shit for, but he's basically still Ralph.
Ralph is Ralph. You know what? I think you and Ralph, you guys can become friends again, and we can mend the sector, and then the race Avengers have one extra member, and we can actually start, defending the realm, the sector.
It's no, it's probably not going to happen. It would be a bad thing just because he says such awful shit about me that like at this point trying to be nice to him, it would just be like not. It would be like turning.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. You'd feel like you'd be forgiving too much. But here's the thing: the way to counter that is you have to recontextualize whatever bad things he said about you as, he's just doing his Vince McMahon bit, basically.
Nah, he's said some really
nasty shit. I don't want to mend any friendships. I don't give a shit.
I'm just saying.
Listen. But yeah, there was another guy that you want me to shit on. Which one is it? And chances are, I don't know about this guy either.
Nick Rekieta, you want to shit on him real quick?
Oh, is that the Jewish lawyer type of guy? Yeah, he fucking. I know.
He's Polish, not Jewish. I think. I don't know. It's hotly debated among internet racists.
We all know where a lot of the Eastern Europeans immigrated from on the turn of the century. They all came from that area, but
that's true.
Maybe he's not. He sort of looks like it. Physiognomy.
Do you co-sign giving coke to 9-year-olds? This is an easy one.
Contrary to popular belief, no, I do not. I think that's really bad. You know, here's a funny thing. So when we mentioned earlier, I had the big falling out with Mike David. And then this secret phone call recording dropped of me spilling all the shitting on Mike completely. By the way, I stand by everything I said. And then this podcast with Paul, what is that guy's called? Paul M. Hulty, like Steel Toe Morning Show?
No, you definitely know some stuff. You know too much.
Leaked tape. He did like 3 hours on my leaked Red Bar tape.
Oh, really?
That guy. Yes. And it was actually pretty good coverage.
What was the leaked Red Bar tape?
Oh
I don't.
God, let's not get into all this. Yeah, it's like look, it was a whole thing, you know. Like I said, I was JQing. I was really angry about that. I went back to my hotel room. I got pissed. All of a sudden, my hotel room phone rings. I'm drunk, and I got. By the way, I got shunned by. We shouldn't even get into it. I really don't want to get into it. It's not because I just. You could find all of this. I just don't want to rehash it. I didn't give a fuck. I really don't give a shit.
Okay.
Or do you really want to know? Do you really want to know?
Can you like sum it up in just one sentence?
Fucking shit. Okay, so I do Red Bar Radio. I fly out there. I'm in the studio. We have a big show. We're drinking. We're going nuts. I start JQing. He goes on pause. He tells me, don't talk about my people. I start talking about his people again. He goes on pause again. Please don't talk about my people. I do it again because I'm drunk. Then the show's over. We have a big yelling match. I tell him he's a fucking faggot. Then I go to my hotel room. Now, we had a huge, big plan to do multiple shows. We were going to hang out. We were going to shoot guns, blah, blah, blah. Now, and next day I wake up. I try to call him. No answer. So he's basically fucking ditching me. I flew out there for him with his fucking show. I'm in Tucson in some fucking shithole. Okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? He might be a little pissy. I'm going to just hang out by the pool, do my thing. We'll try again tomorrow. Call him again. Nothing. Okay. So I'm being shunned. I call his wife. Hey, what's happening? Nothing. So this is 3 days of me just sitting in a fucking hotel room by myself, getting more and more pissed, trying to make the best of it. All of a sudden, my hotel room phone rings. Okay, literally creepily. Okay, the phone on my goddamn nightstand rings. I pick up the phone. There's a guy there. Red Bar News, here to get the scoop. Like a creepy voice. I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? And then this guy tricks me. He's like, listen, Mike is talking massive shit about you right now. He's in the Discord. He names a bunch of realistic names. He basically ropes me in. It all sounds super legit. I'm like, okay, well, this guy's a fucking faggot, blah, blah. So I just go off. I go off for like 60 minutes.
So it was
Then
like it was like a fake guy that was calling you on behalf, pretending to be Mike, and then you dumped on Mike. And
he's pretending to be one of Mike's inner circle guys that's in one of Mike's groups chat, naming a lot of names that would be in that group chat. Go like, yeah, Mike is fucking shitting on you completely, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I had no reason not to believe that. I'm drunk, and by the way, at this point, because Mike had basically ditched me in that fucking hotel room for like 4 or 5 days. I had flown out there. I'm like, you know what? And I was done with him. I had told some of my other friends, like, listen, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm never doing this again. Fuck this guy. So I just went off. You know, I just fucked this is another thing. You can listen to the whole call if you want at some point.
And then it gets leaked and it gets circulated by like Aaron M.
After that's done, I realized it's too complicated, but I just realized, oh, fuck, this was not the guy who he said he was. So I realized this was probably going to get leaked. And what did I do? Even though I fucking couldn't stand Mike at this point, I was done with him. I sent Mike a message. Listen, dude, I just had a fucking phone call. This might be recorded. It's going to go. So even giving a heads up. And here's the funny thing. I was getting ignored by him for like 4 days. And when I sent him that, he's like, what the fuck? What happened? What happened? Then he did respond all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden he was interested in responding. And then, yeah, that leaked phone call came out. A bunch of people did a bunch of podcasts about it. But yeah, I was just, I was done with the Red Bar the moment he basically ditched me. That phone call was the little cherry on top. And yeah, you can hear the details if you listen to the whole phone call. That's basically the rundown of it. No big deal. I'm done. And then again, and then the aftermath of that is like people going like, oh yeah, whoa, talk shit about him. Is he really sick? What's his disease? Here's the thing. Again, I know all the ins and outs, but you're never going to hear it because I'm not like that. I'm not going to be drama farming. This is this guy's life. I wish him the best of luck. I have no ill will I don't want to destroy him or stuff like that. That's literally not in my character. Like, let the guy do what he wants to do. I'm not one of it. Because here's the thing, what people are used to, whenever Mike is falling out with somebody, it becomes a huge deal. They start shitting on each other, big blah, blah. I don't have that in me. I don't want to do it. I don't want my life to become that type of shit. It's just not in my character. And I understand it would be entertaining for a lot of people. And I could destroy him but I don't want to destroy him because we used to be good friends. And I'm proud of him and I'm proud of what he did. And I like Jules, his wife. And I just, but sometimes sometimes when you think you're friends with somebody and then they show you a certain level of disrespect, then it becomes time to just go, you know what, this is as much as I will take. And then you just separate amicably, you know? So he will no longer have the privilege of having me in his life. That's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? If people disrespect you one too many times, that's about it. You can't keep forgiving somebody. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep, you know what, he's just doing it. No, it's okay. That's fine. That's it. But it doesn't mean I want to kill him or destroy him or anything like that. So that's not, you're never going to get any of that from me. Now, unless he starts, if he pulls the first punch, there's going to be some atomic bombs, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
It's probably a good idea then, because it like distracts you from what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah, I'm not. That's not what my shit is. Listen, that's not. I explained that before. You know what I'm saying? I just that's not my my vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you should probably listen to that phone call. You'll get a lot of extra context to this. But hey, Butch Killigan #2, go check it out right now. The best indie comic ever. If you actually want to get a comic that is contrary to the top-down corporate Jewish controlled media, you should get this one.
Great.
Okay.
I'm a subscriber. You should be too, if it sounds interesting to you. Sven Stoffels, very small world. Crazy to hear that you know how deep your roots are in the sphere that we're in. Yeah.
The sector, one some might say.
The sector. That's right.
Yeah, dude. Well, it was really great talking to you. We should do it again sometime. Maybe this was a good pilot for you if ever there would be another interesting person for you to talk to that's not like a complete mongoloid Down syndrome guy.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to have a chat with somebody that's not like a sane person.
Isn't it? You were sort of hesitant. You're like, you know what? I never do this. But I think it went pretty well. What do you think? Quick recap?
Yeah, I think so. I think we covered everything. We covered Dutch history, Indonesian history, the history of West European arts and the influences in the comic industry. I think we covered all our bases.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Did we ever? Can we scroll one more time to my Kickstarter page? Because people really need to go and support this Kickstarter.
It's the Indiegogo's been on the screen, but also this is the.
I know, but Indiegogo is kind of like that's the variant cover. That's not. We really need
that's the
Kickstarter.
Okay.
That's it. We need to get both. You need to get both. They're very collectible, both the covers, and they're in limited print too. And of course, if you missed out on the first campaign, you can still get Butch Killigan Volume 1 when you go to pick your reward tier, then go to checkout, and you can pick an add-on. There's even signed copies. I went to Texas, by the way, a couple of months ago. I went to Texas Comic Con, my first Comic Con. I was there selling books, and I signed a bunch of books. I should have probably signed more, but I signed some books. You can add those on to your pledge. But yeah, come on, guys. You need to get this freaking campaign and running. We need to become the next Rippaverse. You know what I'm saying? Co-signed by Josh right here. He loves it, right, Josh?
I did enjoy the first one. Out of all the comic books I've read, all three of them, it was definitely the best.
I mean, come on. Listen, and it is the best on Kickstarter right now. We got to make it happen. You guys got to support me, help me out here. So they can get started on book 3. You're going to get your copy. This is not you funding my dream, my idea. And then once it's funded, I'm going to start. No, the book's done, okay? You're going to get your book 100,000%. It's awesome. It rules. Go check it out. Please support it. And I guess that's it. I love being here, dude. It was awesome. By the way, for me, it's like it's 2 a.m. Do you know that it's 2 a.m. for me?
Well, I'm very sorry for keeping you up.
I know, it's fine, dude. Yeah, we got to do it again sometime, dude. You're an awesome dude. Real intelligent guy. I love talking to you.
Yep. Talk to you later.
You're going to, am I going to go now?
Yeah, because I want to, I have my notes for the stream, so I think I just have to hang up at this point.
So right now? Or
yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, what?
Okay, first interview I've done in a while. I will. Let's see. What the thing is, I have to pee, and I have like my entire stream still. I only intended to talk for an hour. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll have an intermission as we do. Take the links off because we're done. And I will put us. You know what? I think that the most accurate way to do like a little intermission is with this. We'll just put this on the screen for about a minute and call it a day. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. The fastest peer in the West. My perspective on that discussion, by the way, was that I mean, I didn't intend to bring up like so much. I just wanted to like um have him give like a quick opinion about those people, and I didn't expect like a whole thing about it. So Sven should never consent to a police interrogation because he gives up way more information than is requested of him, and that's not a good trait when you are under interrogation. Okay, I did wash my hands, of course. Let's see. Great interview, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, he's talkative. That's okay. I don't. There were some people that in the chat that I felt were a little bit too hard. He's trying to sell his book, so if you can reach these different audiences of people to raise awareness of your commercial work, I can understand that. Not everybody in the entire world needs to know that Juju the cow is a man who gets fucked in the asshole dressed as a cow. So I am a naturally a positive poly chat, as you all know. So I'm a little bit more forgiving than I assume some people are. Cool. Okay. So now begins the actual stream, chat. This is going to be a 4-hour long stream, I guess. We're just, you know what? Where else am I going to be? Nowhere. Fuck it. So let's talk about the news. And as always, when I talk about the news, I need a news hamster, to help me. Oh shit! Oh, this one. Okay, sorry. I accidentally clicked the jihad hamster. That's we were talking about Islam, so I guess that's appropriate. I did buy the comic. Okay. So the Internet Archive was hacked. It was defaced with a small JavaScript pop-up that just said like we've hacked this site, and 31 million user accounts are being sent to Have I Been Pwned, which is a hack dump. And apparently the motivations of the hacker were that the Internet Archive supports Israel. Or rather, the Internet Archive is owned by the U.S. government, which supports Israel, which is not true. Kind of a bizarre attack. However, it is a long one unfortunate event after a long series of unfortunate events of befalling people who tried to destroy the kiwi farms. If you don't remember, the Internet Archive tried to, or did effectively remove any archive regarding kiwifarms.net at the request of Liz Fong Jones, and also removed all the tweets that belonged to Taylor Lorenz, allegedly because one of Taylor Lorenz's family members was on the board. However, they dispute that. They claim that they specifically, in a very roundabout way, say that the chief, it's not the CEO, it's the chief operating officer or whatever of the board for the 501c3, is somebody not related to Lorenz. Like, they very specifically address the claim that Taylor Lorenz's uncle owns the nonprofit, but they're like, actually, Thwetty, nobody owned the nonprofit, and our COO is not related. So if there's actually somebody related to Taylor Lorenz on that board, that's never been addressed. I tried to dig and find evidence of this, and I couldn't find it. I just either found like the incorrect claim that the owner is her uncle, but regardless, it's nice to see bad things happening to bad people. The DOJ has announced after winning their decision against Google that Google is a monopoly. Now the question is sort of like after World War One, it's like, okay, well, we won. How do we terminate this lawsuit? What do we actually want to happen to create equity? And it's considering a breakup. The most notable breakup that they're considering is that they want to remove the advertising service of Google Ads from Google search, because right now it's like AdSense gets to choose what platforms it's on, and it gets to choose that it doesn't want to be on any search engines. So they're saying that they kind of want to take Google AdSense and make it its own thing that has certain neutrality obligations owed by the court. So that would be interesting if I could run ads, like regular banner ads on the Kiwi farms, but that's probably not what's going to happen. They're not going to enforce that kind of shit. But I did run ads on the Kiwi farms years ago before we got banned, and we made like $200 a month, and that was back when the site was really, really, really small. So I just imagine if I could run ads on the forum right now, like in the prominent positions, I would probably make like $10,000 a month just from unintrusive banner ads from guest traffic. So crazy. That's not going to happen. They want like a specific court-appointed monopoly officer, sort of like a weird position that Google has to pay, and the monopoly officer would be somebody who's like accountable to the court only. So Google would have to have this officer. This officer would have access to everything in the company, and the guy would be on staff 24/7, so that if the court calls and asks for something, he has to reply. And basically the government would just be plugged into Google to make mandates for whatever they want in the company to hold them accountable. So I'm not really super happy about this. It doesn't sound like it would actually improve anything, but I guess we'll see. Speaking of total advertiser death, Ford has patented a new proprietary system that I'm sure you all will be very happy to hear. They're going to put microphones in your car. They're going to listen to what you talk about. They're going to track your GPS location. They're going to transmit this information to the Ford headquarters. And based off what you're talking about and where you're at, they're going to place advertisements on your center entertainment console and show you what they think will sell. So for instance, if you talk, hey, I'm hungry, and they know that you're heading eastbound on this road, and there's a McDonald's coming up. Hey, chicken nuggets right on the screen. Wouldn't you love some McDonald's, consumer? So they've patented this. However, Ford, in response to controversy in regards to this patent, came out and said that actually, Thwetty, when we have like a really creative idea, we go ahead and patent it, and then that becomes a part of our intellectual property portfolio. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to implement it. So don't get it twisted. It's just like some property that we're going to have. So they patented this, but they say, don't worry, we're not actually going to use it. We just want to sell it to somebody who might. That's not really very assuring. Maybe don't patent bad ideas. Don't patent chemicals that are specifically designed to murder white people. I think if you patent a thing like that, then people are allowed to say, go fuck yourself, you're a piece of shit.
Fun fact.
This is a TikToker explaining what I just explained. But he shows clips of the patent, which is why I'm going to play this.
Ford has filed a patent that will allow them to play ads on the infotainment screens inside their vehicles, and according to the patent, it would select which ads to show people by essentially spying on them. The patent would allow the system to make predictions about where the driver was going based on their travel history, and also be able to integrate third-party data. So if you drive past a Target every day on your way home from work, and the night before you are looking at products on Target's website, when you get into your car to head home from work, the system will play you an ad for products on sale at Target. The system will also be able to listen to conversations between passengers and pick up on key words, either about the destination you're heading to, and then present you with ads for things that are on the way, or if someone says, I'm hungry, it can play you ads for restaurants.
I just find that crazy. Like, yeah, that guy's like cringe and soy, but he showed the parts of the patents that show that this isn't like a theory. It's not like, oh God, if they're allowed to do XYZ, they could also do ABC, and that would be really bad. It's like that's in the patent. The dystopian nightmare reality that you want to avoid is actually just a part of their patent, so that it's included in the intellectual property for the patent for the next 7 years. I didn't even remember the part about the third-party services. So they can sell your data to an advertising aggregate that already knows where you live because your phone company sells your address and already knows what you're interested in because Google AdSense and Facebook ads is selling the fact that you visited Target the other day. And so it knows, oh, this guy's going to drive past Target in a bit because he's driving home from work. And we know that he's interested in buying this product, so we'll show a Target ad featuring this product, so he thinks, I will stop by this Target and buy this product. And I don't know, I would rather be shot than live in that kind of society, like for real. They're going to charge you like money to turn on. You have to subscribe to Ford Plus to get like the fucking infotainment console ban. If there is any good people in the government, NHTSA will come out and say, actually, Sweaty, you can't play fucking ads on the infotainment dashboard. No fucking ads on the speedometer. No, like, oh, you're in a hurry. Maybe stop by Raceway for a $1 slushie. Like, no ads on the odometer. No ads on the infotainment screen. No ads in your fucking car. No ads. Fuck ads. Please, NHTSA. Please, government, save us from the hell. I know that the hell is being created by the agents that also own the government, but you have created a worse hell without the government hell than the hell that you would bring as the government. So please bring that hell instead. That's what I'm trying to say. Hurricane Milton came and went. It was a catastrophic fucking flop. It was supposed to kill everybody. It fucking didn't. So it reached like the top 10 in barometric pressure. But then Ethan Ralph says, Hurricane Milton, I ain't afraid of you. He went to the very coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, as close to Milton as he could get. And he says, fuck you, bitch. And his words rattled around like blades in the heart of the storm, slicing and opening the eye of Milton, and it wobbled, and when it flustered, much like when Ethan Ralph walks with his camera in first-person perspective, you can see him wobbling. So too did Hurricane Milton wobble to and fro and collapse dead on the peninsula of Florida, completely broken by Ethan Ralph's triumphant view. So it was a Category 4 when it landed. It was boring. We were sitting around like jerking off, thinking like, oh my god, this could be a Category 6. This could kill hundreds of people and cause billions of dollars of financial harm. And then it lands, and it's just like, it's like a ruined orgasm. It's like, Category 4? What the fuck? That's not what I was promised by the media. Fuck you. I don't know. This guy showed some clips. If this wasn't a 2-hour long stream already, I would play some fucking clips. But I'm not. You know what a hurricane looks like. I think the most interesting thing that came out of the hurricane is this guy. Just some fucking guy that only has one leg, and he was gonna like. his story is so complicated because it's like he's going to say, I'm not going to leave my boat. I'm Lieutenant Dan. They call me Lieutenant Dan because I only have one leg, like in that movie, Forrest Gump. I'm going to stay on my boat. And then everyone instinctively hated this guy because it's like, why are you so popular for being a fucking idiot and living in your fucking boat during a hurricane? So then this person, I don't know if this person originated it, but this is a big source of it. Bitch Evaporate came out and said that Lieutenant Dan was this convicted. I guess she's a face-blind autistic person of a specific descent because she doesn't fucking know that this guy and this guy are not the same people, so she falsely accused him of being a convicted child sex offender. However, the issue with him is not only are their names completely different, besides the last name, this guy is currently in prison for 110 years for his child sex offenses, so it's definitely not the guy in the fucking boat in Florida when the guy that is arrested for child sex offenses is in Wisconsin on the other side of the fucking country, currently in a fucking penitentiary, okay? So I even fell for this. I was like, oh, it makes sense that all these idiots are going to hype up somebody who's going to turn out to be a fucking chomo or something. But no, he's just a guy that lives in a boat and has one leg. Aiden Ross offered him $100,000, but then because this happened, he rescinded his invitation to give him $100,000. And also, Kick offered him a $2 million signing deal for streaming on Kick, which I don't know. There's some people out there that put in a lot of fucking work and advertise their fucking platform and can't fucking monetize it because they're banned from Stripe, who want to go back to the US and buy a fucking house that $2 million would really, really, really help with. But this guy has one leg and he's in a boat, so I guess he gets $2 million, whatever. And then he didn't even stay in the fucking boat. The sheriffs persuaded him to leave, and apparently he went to a shelter before the hurricane landed. So he didn't even fucking do it. And that's the story of Lieutenant Dan, and how everybody involved in this is a fucking retard, including the guy that thought he was going to stay on a boat in the middle of a hurricane. Why would you do that? How bad? That's the other thing. That's the real takeaway from this, is all the people who are like, you know what? Now that we're in the TikTok era, we can just like throw our lives into dangerous situations for clicks and views. Let's go to Florida during a Category 17 hurricane and see what happens. Come on, y'all. We might get a kick deal for $2 million. Then okay, so this is in like a vague category of just what I call election news, but this is in air quotes. None of this has anything to do with politics. This is just how retarded this campaign is. So this guy in the University of Kansas is going to let you know what should happen to men who don't vote for Kamala.
There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
I love that stutter when he's trying to play it off like he's a cool hard ass. And he's like, did I say that? Just scratch that from the record. I want the dean to hear that. He's like trying to strike that I'm too cool for school, and also I'm about to shit my fucking pants. I can't believe I just fucking fed posted in a university campus and in a post-COVID era where everything is recorded all the time. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of people out there who would agree that if you don't vote the way that they would agree with, then you should be shot. That's an interesting take on politics. Shooting people that vote that you disagree with based on their vote. Interesting idea. Haven't heard that one in a while. Might want to be careful with that, though. Might want to be careful before you float that one around, because you don't know what kind of people might actually want to take you up on that. So, Kamala was doing a little, what's the thing? A little rally, right? And so she invited all her friends and said, hey, friends, do you want to come to my rally? And then she was thinking, or her campaign was thinking, we got to get Kamala out there in front of the white dudes who vote for Trump. And we need to get those white dudes voting for him. So how do we do this? What do we do to get Kamala on the same screen without any kind of chudly zitter posting? How do we get her in front of white dudes? And so, through their combined 10 million IQ, they came up with this.
Now I mainly do content creation and guy writing and all that. But yeah, you're probably surprised to see WoW. And what we're doing here, this is a kind of a new initiative, doing a rally with some WoW content here as well. Hold on, I need to make sure I don't die to this route.
This is Preheat, a World of Warcraft streamer with 51,000 followers
I
on
might
YouTube
have to drop out
or
of this
on
queue to go
Twitch.
over it, 'cause
And Kamala Harris's campaign invited him to
so I grew
co-host,
up in
guest
a small
host,
town.
her
Outdoors,
official
it's a really
campaign
small
Twitch channel to do World of Warcraft content while the campaign played on the left-hand side. So as the Kamala stuff was happening, you would also get a little blast of World of Warcraft stuff on the side. Actually, I guess Tim Waltz is the only one talking at this one in Arizona. Now, you may notice that the chat is in bitch mode, which is when they go emote only mode. So everyone's participating, but they're only pressing buttons so that way they don't have to moderate anything. You can see that the emotes are yeah. Now that's what I like. I want you to imagine a big, beautiful wall, just a nice, strong, aesthetic building, and then imagine coming out of this building, the side of this building, this brick building, Kamala Harris's face, and then just imagine the words "yeah" repeated over and over again all around her face. So it's a building with Kamala's face, 3D coming out of it, and just the words "yeah, yeah, yeah" all around it, affirming that she is in fact our beloved leader and will lead us to a bright future. This is what we're getting here. You don't need to type because you already have the only word you need in the chat. Yeah. And then also pansexual pride. Yeah, pansexual pride. Yeah, non-binary pride. Yeah, transgender pride. This is it. This is the right message. This is what goes on the wall. Cool. So that's not the end of it. So we have an issue. People aren't really motivated to go out and vote for Kamala Harris. All the chuds that are angry about the government are going to go out and vote for Trump. But how do we get the non-chuds to come out and vote for Kamala Harris, or maybe the undecided voter? Well, come once in a lifetime, an endorsement that at any other point in American history would have actually been a detriment. We have the co-signatories of the porn industry backing up Queen Kamala. Conservatives are planning to criminalize porn. Don't let them control what you watch. I will fight to protect my right to privacy in my own home. This is handsoffmyporn.com, and you can sign the pledge. You can put in your email address and zip code and sign the pledge. Hands off my porn. This is serious. Over 140 Trump appointees wrote the plan to outlaw porn. Trump's allies want to use the full weight of the U.S. government to get rid of all pornography. Their $22 million plan called Project 2025 is written by hundreds of Trump's political appointees and endorsed by over 100 conservative organizations. And we have to see this. Stop scaring America. Watching porn doesn't make you transgender. Now, if you remember, let's see. How about this one? Article on the Doe. Porn helped me bloom into a trans man and let go of sex shame. Sorry, this is just unrelated. I'm just having like a fucking my brain is like melting out of my fucking ears. I don't know if this is like an anti thing or a pro thing. Transgender's connection with pornography. It's undeniable. I am a parent of a female child who has rapid onset gender dysphoria. So this person is a parent with a child who's transgender, and they say it's undeniable. I'm just searching porn and transgenders, which you have to be very careful. Oh, how about this one from Scary Mommy? Watching porn helped me discover my sexuality. Okay. Can we get one more? Oh, how about this one? I like this one. This one works. This is from the Huffington Post, which I'm told is a reliable source. It says, how I found my gender through being a queer porn star. Let's read the first paragraph here. I am gender queer. I could say gender variant, but I know what I am. Queer. I do not vary slightly from the standard form. I fuck it all up. I knew I was not a boy or a girl when I was a child, but did not have the words to explain what it meant to my friends and family. Trans did not fit, but neither did the cisgender. But don't worry. HandsOffMyPorn.com says, stop scaring America. I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I actually think this is heckin' problematic because when trans people and queer folks are saying that porn helped them discover their identity and it's important that children as young as possible see porn so that they can discover non-heteronormative lifestyles, and you're saying that's not true on your campaign website, that's a fucking issue, and we should really unpack this. That's what I think, chat. Okay. And then, if that isn't fucking retarded enough, I like this one too. Vote no on Initiative 83. This is an initiative in the District of Columbia, so this is a city. They're weird, their boundaries, but this is a thing for the city. And the very, very progressive area of the district said, hey, this whole two-party shit kind of fucking sucks. How about we do ranked choice voting? Ranked choice voting is interesting. I don't have a full opinion on this yet because it's a big thought experiment. Ranked choice voting is basically saying that you get a list of options and you pick them with numbers. So you vote, I prefer Donald Trump the most. If I can't have Donald Trump, I'll take Ron Paul second. If I can't get Ron Paul, and then if you just, I'll take Kamala. And that's how you rank it. And if you just leave them, there's like a special. It doesn't matter if you like leave them blank because of how it's calculated. So if you don't even want to put a 3 for Kamala, it just like there's a mathematical way to approximate where they would be in your rank or something. It's a little bit more complicated, and that's one of the main detriments to it is that it is more complicated. Whereas first past the post, two party is extremely simple. Every fucking retard can get what it means. There is situations in a ranked choice system where the person who received the most number one preferences will lose to a person who received many more second preferences. So you get somebody who nobody is particularly happy with. That's an outcome of the ranked choice system, which is why some people don't support it. So I'm just letting you know this is a funny thing to me because it is like this obvious, don't be fooled. Initiative 83 will suppress the vote of marginalized populations and reverse the gender and racial makeup of DC elected officials. Vote no on Initiative 83. Oh, look. The vote, when you vote ranked choice, your vote looks suspiciously like the NSDAP flag. A vote for ranked choice is a vote for Nazis. So I don't know. I think that ranked choice probably benefits minority groups because you have parties that represent minority interests having a chance to get elected, right? But I don't know. I just found this very funny because it's like, this is such a shitty website. They're like begging, no, we need a system that only Democrats and Republicans can live in or win in. Please don't make us compete outside of this two-party system. Never. I never want this. First choice is Jeb Bush. Second choice, Hitler. And then third choice, Ronald McDonald. You know, every single election, there are write-in votes cast in our general election for Ronald McDonald and Mickey Mouse. Every single year, Ronald McDonald and Mickey Mouse get votes to be president of the United States. Now, that's a winning ticket. Mouse, Donald Mouse. That's powerful. That's a strong word. That's a vote for the future of this country, for the economic and cultural hegemon dominance of this entire world. Donald Mouse will unify all peoples of Earth under the American flag, whether they like it or not, and they will like it. They'll fucking love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba! Vote today. That's pretty good. I'm proud of myself. Let's see. Oh God. Okay, now we're depressed. We're going into the depressed segment of the chat, of the stream chat. The Troon segment. Let's talk about this gay guy. So this is a little boy in drag. His dad has allowed him to transition and show off his midriff for TikTok clicks. His dad's a homosexual. You'll hear it for yourself.
This is my daughter Edie.
Oh my god. Warning. Warning. Portal to hell opening. Brr, brr, brr. Temperature inside 1,000,000 degrees Kelvin.
And today is a big day because she's going on her first date.
This is what I'm gonna wear. So the guy I'm meeting is a big fan of Stranger Things, so I got him some gifts. So first I got Jonathan.
It's so demonic. If you picture this fucking soyjack faggot holding his iPhone 97 in his hand, and just imagine him. He's doing this soyjack face. He's hunched over. His son is in this dress, and he's got his fingers, like pinchy fingers on his phone, and he's like zooming in and out, like opening and closing his pinchy fingers to like zoom in and out and create that camera effect. And he's just standing there soyjacking like, yeah, babe, you're doing beautiful, lass. Like, that's what's happening in the reality of this. If you zoom out of this from his perspective, that's what's going on here.
So I got him some gifts. So first I got Jonathan, then I got Matt, then I got a Henry, and I also got Dustin. Oh, and if the date doesn't work out, I'm keeping them. I also got him this iPad so he can FaceTime me. I'll also be keeping this if the date doesn't go well. Okay, now I'm all ready to go on the date.
Dude, there's something so disgusting about buying your son like, even if it was a girl, like a natal girl, and she's going out on her first date and she's like 10, buying her like a crop top to show off midriff is like vile. You wouldn't do that for your own daughter, but he's gonna buy his son like a crop. That's fucking gross, man. This guy is 2 million subscribers, people watching this and not fucking reporting it to the police for child abuse. 2 million. What the fuck? Unfucking real. And he only gets like 50,000 views on the first day for his fucking videos. Dude. I can't fucking believe this. I'm actually like mad. A date? Dude. His channel's been around for 10 years, so those are like ghost subscribers? When did he join? Jonathan Jolie in the UK. Okay. And he joined in 2007. Dude, no way. This guy is like social media brain for sure. He's been around and he's been doing the fucking grind for so long that when he sees his son, he thinks that's clicks, that's subscribers, that's ad rev, that's affiliate money. If he starts wearing the dress and getting fucked in the ass by older boys and I put him on dates and film that shit, that's fucking cash money. That's what's going on here. This guy's a fucking freak. Check his older vids. Okay. That's a good idea, actually. Oldest. I can sort by oldest. Okay. It's all like music videos. Draw my life. Why will I quit YouTube? There is a timeline where that little boy is not getting molested. And it's the one where the answer to that was yes. So he had his kids. Oh, he was like a family vlogger to begin with. Dude.
Hey guys, and welcome to a special video of reading stories. What?
Is he retarded? He legit sounds like a fucking retard Mongoloid.
Inside a crib with Biba. Alright, let's go. But, it's like a gameplay, except it's in a crib with Biba. Alright, let's go. Hello, children. My name is Spaghetti Potato Head. And I'm going to tell you all about this fantastic roller coaster ride called...
That's unfucking tolerable. Emilia is so fun to have video times like this. That's not the... That's not the boy. Baby daughter Q&A. Daughter does makeup. Look. Dude. His channel has missing videos all the way up to 4 years ago. This guy went back with a fucking machete and deleted hundreds of videos. I guarantee you. Because it jumped straight from 10 years ago to like 8 years ago, and then immediately from 8 years ago to 4 years. So 4 years of fucking history just gone. Like between his wife being pregnant with twins and the twins being old enough to put on fucking camera, something got deleted. He does look like Patrick, you're right. And showing off his kids' midriff and shit. Dude, I can't even fucking imagine pouring out your own kids and putting them in like revealing clothes and thumbnails on YouTube. That's fucking obscene. When is the kid troon out? Is the kid like already a troon by like 4 years old? What the fuck is happening in this? Sister, brother. And then I guess he trooned out the one boy? Is that what's happening here? And then they have a miscarriage, and then I guess they troon out the boy. Dude, I don't know. I'm tired of looking at this. Look at Billie Eilish. Fuck you. Fuck this guy. I'm sick of this. One tranny is dead, though. That's cause to celebrate. This is Pansy Faggot was his name. This guy is like the you want to know, you think, oh, I'm just going to go for a quick little JO, right? I'm going to go for a little JO. What's the worst that could happen? This is end stage, hands off my porn addiction. This guy is into sissydom. He wants to get fucked in the ass. He goes by Pansy Faggot. He does gay porn. I think he's like married and shit. He's like a straight guy that got so porn sick that he that after 60 years of gooning, he claimed several times to have had his first sexual encounter at the age of 13, where he was allegedly forced to cross-dress and prostitute himself for an older man. I wonder if that's like a fake story that he tells just for like the sexual nature of it, because it's like that's what he's into. So it could be fake. It could just be porn addiction. Kind of like in the same way the trainers go back and say, I knew I was a little girl when I was 4 years old, and I saw My Little Pony. I thought, oh my god, I wish I was a real girl. It could be like that, but for like child molestation. He's dead, is what I'm trying to say. This guy, he no longer walks the earth. He's no longer amongst us. He's dead. Just take a second. Breathe it in. He's dead. Next, Jonathan Yanev. Not dead. Jonathan Yanev is now suing Rebel Media, which is a Canadian kind of like Daily Wire type deal, who's been tracking Jonathan Yanev's exploits in the court system for forever. He has filed yet another human rights complaint with the Human Rights Tribunal of British Columbia, alleging that Rebel News violated his rights with hate speech. Now, this is very fascinating because Rebel Media recorded Jonathan Yanev chimping out at them, and he said this.
Nigger, 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 fuck you. I have the picture of your kid on here, by the way. You want to see? You like that? You like that, Drea? Fucking little bitch. Look at all your little Hindu security over there around you. I'm so scared. Yeah.
Cripple fight.
Back away, Drea. Better back off.
Sheriff, that man just dropped the N-word 4 times. What are you going to do about that? He could be fucking kneeling on George Floyd right now, suffocating him to death. What are you doing?
You know your friend's going to jail, Terry.
Is that his mom?
Dre over here outside of the Surrey Provincial Courthouse. I have my bodyguards by my side. I'm going to be bringing...
Bodyguards? Just released the beast. Wait, she's black? Wait a second. I thought that he was just trying to get Rebel News like banned from YouTube or something. He dropped the N-bomb at this particular woman? Bruh. I think, with my expert opinion, I have deemed that that was a racist incident, chat. That was not no mere dropping of the N-word. That was a deliberate racial provocation, deliberately aimed towards a woman of color to offend her. I can't fucking believe it. I guess, yeah, it's true. Yaniv is Jewish, so he has the N-word pass because he's the real black people. Crazy. Okay, I did not preview this before the stream, so we're just gonna wing it. Hold up, let me make sure that none of this is porn. Okay, it's not porn. Okay, great. Okay, so this is a tranny called Bunny Doll who is on OnlyFans, and he's trying to chop his penis off. He's British, and then apparently this chat log is funny. I'm gonna trust Osama bin Laden as I do, and hope that this is funny. Let's take a look. Alexa says scared. Stealth Kitten 3 says everything will be fine. Your dad loves you unconditionally. He told me on the phone earlier he knows something is up. Before this, I told him I needed to speak to him. He asked if it was important. I said yes. He asked if it's about Alexis. I said yes. He said he could tell something was up. I said I'd prefer to talk to him in person. He said come whenever and I'll reschedule his jobs, or he'll reschedule his job. So he's taking off work for this. Alexa says, I'm really, really, really scared. I can't believe it either. I feel like such a burden on everyone right now. I need to hide away and disappear for real. Stealth Kitten 3, this is a literal Discord kitten, by the way, says, shut it. You're going to be fine. You'll hide and disappear after me going to this length to reduce your burden. I'll not be happy. Alexa says, please don't let him explode or do anything rash or out of anger. And keep him away from me, too. Stealth Kitten 3 says, I'll do what I can. Alexa says, thanks, sorry. And Stealth Kitten 3 says, you know this has to be done. If you found out later or for somebody else, it would be real bad for both of us. Yeah. So Alexis got into trouble because he got into arguments with people on Twitter. This conversation, and I don't know how to base this off of anything because I don't see the source for it, but Osama says that his gay boyfriend is telling his dad that he's boy pregnant. He's a pregnant tranny, and his dad needs to know, even though he's male to female. So imagine that conversation. Your son's a faggot, and his gay boyfriend comes by and says, I knocked that bussy up. He's pregnant. How do you react to this? Don't answer that question. You'll get banned. Well, let me read these other messages. Oh my god, bro. You can't just hotlink fucking... He got me boy pregnant and is going to tell... Oh, wait, here we go. That's why I didn't see it, because you didn't link it right. He says, he got me boy pregnant and is going to tell my dad today. Oh, I can't show you that. Okay. This tweet really caught on, and I've been getting so much hate from TERFs and transphobes, more than I've ever experienced in my entire life. It's really weird. It was a really wholesome moment, which I wanted to talk about, and now there are tons of people spreading screenshots, calling me all sorts of horrible things. I didn't do anything to any of them, and I don't know what trying to explain that I paid for the surgery myself, and it wasn't funded through the NHS, and a lot of them are upset because I was supposedly exploiting the NHS system to take their tax money. But then I just thought to myself, this is only a thinly veiled excuse so they can have a reason to complain about trans people. If not for that, they just find another reason. That's right. That's exactly right. I will always find new reasons. Congrats on your butt, baby. Okay. Finally, we have a very scant lolcow news to round this stream out with, chat. First, and I never thought it would come to this. that I would need to discuss this topic on my stream voluntarily, but here we are, chat. This has been a topic in the making for several years. Nobody could see this coming, but yet it is time to discuss Ricky Berwick. Ricky Berwick has stated on Zitter, I'm at the hospital because my mother has been emotionally abusing and controlling me for many years. She has power of attorney over me and finally said I'm allowed no more friends at my house. I told the cops it's not worth living anymore. Help me get away from my mom. Ricky Berwick is like 30 at the least, and his mom somehow still has power of attorney over him. He's in a part of a group. What the fuck is this? Meta PCs. We build incredible custom PCs. So he's sponsored by Meta PCs. He's like a YouTuber with how many millions of fucking subscribers? He has 500,000 followers. He has a Patreon. Gotta click some fire hydrants, I think. Let's see. Nope, no, not this time. Only 64 paid members? So, and then he posts pictures of his cat. That's probably why you don't have many subscribers. I guess all that clickbait didn't translate into any cash. 6.1 million subscribers! But his videos only get like a few his videos get less views than the guy that has the tranny son. What the fuck? And he does like drama videos. So like people like legit like pity follow. This is what happens, right? The people like go to his profile and like, oh, he's a crippled guy that really owns it, and then they click follow, and I can't do that because I'm banned. And then they go and they click mute, and then they are followed to him, but they also never see his post because his face is really ugly. And then they also subscribe to his YouTube channel, and then they click not interested to every single one of his videos because he's ugly. And that's how he has 6 million subscribers and 50,000 views, or 20,000 views. How does he even make these?
Tonight on Crippled News. It's happening again. Streamer superstar Fuzi is having another mental breakdown.
Dude, you can't like, if you're like severely... Let me phrase this correctly. Let me articulate this thought fully in my head. Okay. You cannot criticize somebody for having a mental breakdown when you are not in custody of your own person and instead are property of your mother. That's the first thing. The idea of like a crippled Keemstar shitting on people and being like, I may be all fucked up and I can't use my arms, but at least I'm not Dark Side Phil. That's pretty funny. That can work, actually. But I don't think that's going to, like, endear you to people to the point where you can make a lot of money. He does look like Hot Wheels. They don't have the same condition, though. He has something else wrong with him. It's very weird. This guy's very weird. I didn't realize. I feel kind of bad now, because I thought that he was just, like, infinitely wealthy from his situation. And now, oh my god, he's Canadian. I don't feel bad for him at all. Somebody call Maid. It's over. Somebody call in the Maple Blotz Krieg Truppen. Yeah, that's a good German word. Maple Blatz Sturmtruppen. Yeah. To enact Maid justice upon Ricky Berwick. I do actually feel kind of bad. I'm making fun of this guy, and I've just called him like the worst person ever for so long, because I just assumed that he made like millions of dollars from his channel and shit. And now he's like 60 paid members, and his 6.4 million or 6.1 gets like, that is such a bad number. That's unreal. 614,333 divided by, or do the other way. Let's just say 20,000. Be generous, and then do 615. 0. So, oh my god, 0.325. 0.325. This video has received less than 1/3 of a percent of his subscribers viewing it in 5 days, a full week. That's crazy. That's really bad. So it's like he He gets lots of subscribers. I honestly, I don't want to be so mean, but it does feel like it's like pity subscriber. Like, oh, I want to support this guy, but then when it comes to like actually engaging with what he puts out, it's like not there. How much did this get? 11,000. So this got. Sorry, I'm bad at math. 500,000. Sorry, I'm trying really hard here. 500,000. Wait. 12, let's say bump it up. 12,000 divided by 500,000. 2.5%. So more, a considerable magnitude higher than his YouTube subscribers. Interacted with this, the biggest news ever, that he's escaping his abusive mother. That's really creepy. I hate looking at this, actually. This makes me angry. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I did not realize that Berwick's metrics are so bad. Use code TONGUE for a discount. No, sir, I don't think I will, actually. His thing is actually tongue at rickyberwick.com. I feel like he would actually benefit from being less gross. I don't know if that sounds weird. Like, I understand, like, his character thing is that he's really gross, but I just feel like if he got, like, a little hand-tailored suit that made him look really dapper and, like, as handsome as you could possibly make Ricky Berwick, and he just kind of, like, cleaned up a little bit, I feel like that would be... He's done the gross thing for so many years that if he did put on, like, a little midget suit and then tried to do, like, just a one-to-one mockery of Keemstar with a popcorn bucket and all, I feel like that would do better than just trying to be intentionally as alienating as possible. You know what I mean? He's built like a swastika. Does that count as Untermensch if you're built like a swastika? Like, sure, I mean, you're deformed and shit, but you are constructed into a more of a said form. Does that like counter out? Does that like create equilibrium? Okay. Enough of picking on Ricky Berwick. I literally feel bad about having done that. Okay, let's pick on Amberlynn. So Amberlynn Reed, let's do a brief recap on the Amberverse. Amberlynn Reed has recently moved to live with her new girlfriend in true U-Haul lesbian fashion. She had met her girlfriend only about a month before she moved in. People quickly identified that her girlfriend, Tommy, was the same Tommy that dated a super fat 1,000-pound woman who died eating herself to death. However, Amberlynn says that she won't get fed to death living with Tommy, but despite that, has gained a significant amount of weight since living with her, indicating that yes, she is in fact being fed to death by Tommy. Tommy, however, people dug into her a little bit and discovered that the eulogy for the fat person that she was with before had been online, and so they posted to the internet. And let me just zoom up to the point that I want to get to. Here we go. So this is Tommy.
AKA Tom.
Shut up. Show me the part.
It's a type of love that you don't know until you actually feel it when you experience it.
So that is what Tommy read, a line from the eulogy that Tommy read at the obituary for their ex-fiancée that had died from weight-related complications. This, months later, is the same Tommy in Instagram defending her relationship with Amberlynn Reed on the Instagram comments for an announcement related to the relationship. And she says, "It's something you don't really know what it's like until you experience it. You'll know when it happens. It's the best feeling ever." She recycled a line from the obituary of her fat dead fiancé into a Instagram comment to describe her relationship with her new girlfriend. Amberlynn's going to die soon. It's over. She's going to be fed to death. Just, I think we're nearing the end of the Amberlynn Reed arc, which is, I'm sure, a great relief to many people who never want to hear about Amberlynn Reed ever again. Okay. to properly read this, I'm going to have to be dry, and I'm not. I'm going to try to restrain my commentary to be polite and respectful, chat. As I mentioned on my last stream, Russell Greer, who has been suing me for 4 years, was ordered by the federal judge, the magistrate rather, in the federal district of Utah, to show cause for his lawsuit. He was ordered by the court to meet and confer with my attorney, Matthew Harden, in regards to his case, to come up with a schedule. This is usually something, as I mentioned many times before, that happens at the beginning of a case, not 4 years into one. But here we are, 4 years into a case, nearing 5, and we still do not have a scheduling conference to itemize discovery and the timeline of discovery and when we'll be ripe, so they say ripe for summary judgment or for a trial. If a trial is needed to discern matters of fact, because that's what a jury does. They look at evidence and decide if things went one way or another, if they can't be ascertained by the judge himself. So the court ordered him to show cause, and he did not respond at all. He had 2 weeks to meet and confer, and he had 2 weeks to meet and confer for the schedule, and he was ordered to do so, and he did not do so. So he ignored the order, and so the judge says, you must show cause that I should not dismiss this case right now. And, of course, when that happens, as it has happened in the past, he jumps up and suddenly files something and says, oh, I'm so sorry, my life was a train wreck, and I need more time. Now, a responsible party would have filed for an extension. I'm busy, something came up, I have issues, I need an extension of time. It's very disrespectful both to the parties and to the court to not file for an extension. So this was Russell Greer's attempt to show cause that he should be allowed to continue suing me, even though he's not really participating in the trial or in the litigation. Plaintiff Russell Greer comes now and responds to the court's October 7th show cause order. Introduction. As explained in the corresponding motion to file to leave for the APMR, which he filed his scheduling conference, and I'll get to that in a second. The last few months of Russell Greer's life has been completely unbelievable. Dealing with quasi-homelessness in the record-breaking Las Vegas heat, family members dying or near death, job loss, but through the proverbial flames, plaintiff has pushed through the dumpster fire of his life because the fire of determination that burns inside of him has burned stronger than the dumpster flames that surround him. This determination burns in part because defendants play a large part of why Greer is in this current predicament, and this case can truly avenge plaintiff's losses. Avenging plaintiff's losses is the fire of determination that burns within him. Plaintiff will show below why this case should not be dismissed for lack of prosecution. 1. Unexpected life issues momentarily caused a missed deadline. Plaintiff completely understands how, from the court's perspective, it may appear how plaintiff isn't taking the case seriously. However, 2024 has been an awful year, but it's improving. Greer's father is currently in the ICU, and so that threw him for a loop. But as the court can see, plaintiff has abided by all other deadlines and motions. That's not true, just in case you're wondering. He was ordered to do this in February. He was ordered again in October to do it. He still hasn't. With the corresponding motion to leave to file APMR, plaintiff is very confident he can abide by the proposed deadlines. 2. The 10th Circuit ruled Greer stated a claim. The second reason this case should not be dismissed is because a 3-0 10th Circuit ruled in plaintiff's favor. The Supreme Court even rejected defendant's arguments. No, the Supreme Court did not hear the arguments. It did not reject anything. And so it would be distressing if this case was dismissed for lack of prosecution. It would be distressing, chat. That's really... It would be distressing, he says. Defendants have convinced themselves that infringing on others' copyrights is fair use, and plaintiff has shown why there is no way they could be fair use. If the court dismisses the case, then it will only incentivize defendants to continue their rampage of infringements and harassment, not just against Greer, but countless other Kiwi Farms victims. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs, pretty small, pretty lean paragraphs, explaining why he was late and that the 10th stated a claim, I guess. But let's get to the real meat of this motion. Josh Moon, bad. Number 3, holding Mr. Moon to account. Lastly, points 1 and 2 build up to this last point. Kiwi Farms has ran since 2013-ish. Since that time, countless people have had their lives and reputations ruined because of Kiwi Farms. One of those victims is plaintiff. Mr. Moon has suffered no legal repercussions because he is a very smart individual who has used our country's outdated laws to his advantage, namely Section 230. The opening in his shield, though, is copyright, and he has the misguided impression that copyrights of non-famous lolcows, which is a subjective term anyways, gives him fair use to target and destroy the aspirations and works of said lolcows. If this case is dismissed, Moon will continue to ruin the lives and plaintiff will continue to suffer the cycle of unemployment and homelessness because Kiwi Farms have decided that Greer must suffer because he has a disability. And they, in turn, have made it very hard to live a life because our current world revolves around online searches and people aren't smart enough to decipher sources. As evidence, Greer has had to get into contact with a remailer site yesterday to ask them to block his IP address from receiving endless harassing messages being sent to him from a Kiwi Farms user through the remailer service. Conclusion. Greer fully intends on prosecuting this case and is fully confident he can follow the proposed schedule and the corresponding APMR. So, no comment on that. What he did after this was he very quickly filed a scheduling agreement with the court. Basically, how many depositions he needs to do when he proposes a trial. Generally speaking, in a serious copyright case, discovery can take about 16 months. So you'd be looking at like a mid-2026 trial or summary judgment. Greer proposed a trial by jury in January. He did not ask for a jury trial in his complaint, and he didn't challenge us saying that we don't want a jury trial in our response. So he's waived the right to ask for a jury trial about 4 years ago, but he's asking for a jury trial again. And he wants the jury trial in like 4 fucking months from now. Not even. That's not going to happen. That could never happen ever for any reason whatsoever. The other thing that he did is he completely lied about agreeing. He listed like his list of demands, and he filed this in the court and said that he and defendants have reached an agreement, and he specifically says like 10 times throughout this document that plaintiff and defendant agree to XYZ. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take this draft paper that says that same thing, and you're supposed to fill it in with what you want. Then you email it to your opposing counsel. Then they take it and they say, I don't agree with this, I disagree with that. And you do this back and forth until you're at a point where you have discovery lined up and you know what dates are going to happen and what date whereabout you're going to expect for this to be over, and you go to trial. You cannot take a paper that says defendant and plaintiff agree and file this jointly and then file it on your own without the other party having ever seen it. That is called a fraud upon the court. That's illegal. That's a crime. And that's what Greer's done. Now, he has said that, I didn't know that's how that works. I thought that I file it and then you submit a draft and we just file these drafts back and forth instead of just using fucking email. That's what he's saying. But it's like, it's such a disregard for how things are actually supposed to happen that it's just like, he says, as it says here, he says, I fully intend to prosecute this case, and I'm very confident I can follow the proposed schedule in the according APMR. So he's saying, I'm super confident I can figure this out. I'm super confident I can prosecute my case. And if you just give me one more chance, I can figure this all out and get this to trial. And what he's submitted as evidence is a fraud upon the court. So this has to be it. I don't want to be optimistic because optimism is how you suffer in agony and writhe in agony, but there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that a reasonable person, because in regards to what he's filed, his wanted prosecution shows that he doesn't give a shit about copyright. He just wants to try and punish me. And I'm a bad person. And the way that he's written this, it kind of feels like if the judge says, okay, you get another chance, he's agreeing. He's agreeing, I don't like this guy either. You can proceed. You can keep doing this. We'll give you another chance. And then the really crazy thing is the scheduling conference is not even the most difficult part of discovery. Discovery takes forever. It takes hours and hours of work sitting down and figuring things out. And that's why discovery in a trial is usually $30,000 on the cheap side of a civil trial. $30,000 to do discovery because it's such a pain in the ass. And Greer can't figure out the first step, which is the fucking schedule. He can't do the schedule. So this is, if this doesn't go through now, the judge knows that in 3 months, we're right back where we started. He's ignoring court orders. He is not conferring with the opposing counsel, and we're going to be back to another show cause. And it's like, how many fucking times, 4 years in, are we going to go through the exact same thing? Do X, Y, Z. He doesn't, because he can't figure it out. He doesn't know what he's doing. No, really, do X, Y, Z, or else. I promise, it's a really bad year for me. But that Josh Moon's such a nasty guy. You really got to give me another swing at him. It's like, how many fucking times for real is that even a thing? It's just it's so insulting. It's so insulting. So we'll see. And then finally, La Reddit segment. I got 2 Reddit segments. I got one from Am I the Asshole? This is an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not expecting elves to suffer from male pattern baldness? Sorry in advance, because this is a kind of a weird one and not very high stakes. Also, English is my second language. Me, 22F, and a few friends, all 20s MF, were chatting the other day, and I forget why, but the conversation topic went to Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings, which we are all fans of at various levels. Necessary trivia, elves in Tolkien are generally aesthetically perfect, ethereally beautiful, you know the deal. Now, if you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movie, there's an elf who has a really noticeably receding hairline, like Widow's Peak in reverse. And it's very noticeable because Lord of the Ring elf's hairstyle is long, swept back hair, and the camera zooms in wide on this guy's face, so there's no missing it. And I mentioned during the conversation that when I first watched the movies years ago, I found it really funny that they let this elf keep his crazy hairline because you'd not expect an elf to suffer from male pattern baldness. I didn't say he was ugly, just that it was unexpected. A guy in my group, Jake, has the beginnings of male pattern baldness. Very slight, not really noticeable at all unless you look for it, but I of course understand he may be feeling insecure about it. Anyway, Jake lashed out at me for this comment, called me shallow and vapid, and that judgmental people like me are the reason for male loneliness. I told him that it wasn't that I thought a receding hairline was a horrible, nightmarish thing, but that it was an unexpected choice when it came to the casting of a species that's meant to be the pinnacle of human perfection. Not that I hate balding people, because that specific elf's specific hairline isn't what you'd call conventionally attractive. Jake blocked me off everything and is posting a ton of subtweets about not making fun of things people can't change. I repeat, I said this about the elf and not on baldness itself. I did apologize, by the way, and I said I only intend about the elf, but he's just not having it. Am I the asshole? What do you think, chat? Is she the asshole? I don't think so. Just touching my nice hair again. That's all a trick. I'm actually completely bald. I'm just trying to make it so you can't identify me. This is also an Am I the Asshole? From Careful Credit 4645. He says, update. I cut my wife off from our finances because she wouldn't stop ordering takeout. 9 days ago, I made a post about how my unemployed wife had spent $1,176 on pizza or delivery apps in just a month. This is egregiously outside of what we can afford to spend on takeout. And since she didn't seem willing to stop, I canceled our credit card and moved the money from our joint account into my own. For the following days, my wife kept talking about how I was financially abusing her. She threw several tantrums despite being apparently being severely malnourished, threatened divorce, threw a bunch of food that we had in the fridge away to strong-arm me into letting her take out, and even tried to guess my bank account password a bunch of times. Sorry, the password isn't Taco Bell 123. That's mine. Very rude of you to post. That last one was how I learned if you try to guess someone's bank account password enough time, the bank will send you an automated email. But last Friday, the complaints and threats stopped. She seemed mostly back to normal. I figured she had given up. That was until today, which was garbage day. When I took the last bag out before taking the bin down to the curb, I discovered half a dozen fast food bags and other takeout containers in it. My wife wasn't supposed to have access to the money. I had no idea how she was affording the food. I confronted her about it, and at first she denied everything. I had to bring all of her fast food garbage in to get her to fess up. She had taken out a loan. Oh my God. Holy shit. Now, I thought she had borrowed money from a friend or a family, but she had taken out a predatory payday loan. Before you ask, no, I have no idea how she got approved. With your credit, nigga. With your credit, motherfucker. Big snoozing shit. I then drove her to the payday loan place where I paid off the loan in cash. I'll now have to dip further into my savings to pay the rent. I suppose in a certain way, cutting her off was successful. She didn't order takeout anymore, just drove to the restaurants to pick up her food for the low price of $20 for every $100 she borrowed, or $60 in fees total. In addition, I told her that we would be getting divorced. So yeah, my marriage is over. I don't even know what alimony laws exist in a state like mine, but I'm assuming she'll happily live in a cardboard box under a bridge if Uber Eats will bring her there. I don't know if this is a true story, but it's very funny. I mean, the agreement is if your wife is unemployed, she cooks. I don't think that's like even trad. It's like if you are a guy, and let's say that you are both working, right? You're double income. You're dink. Double income, no kids. And for whatever reason, you as a man are in the unfortunate position where you're not in gainful employment. So you have a break where you're putting in job applications. It therefore falls on you to do the dishes, cook, clean, and keep the house tidy for the person who is working. That's not unreasonable. And the inverse is true with women. I feel like this is the cornerstone of a functioning relationship. The most obvious implicit agreement between two people living together that you could possibly have. If you don't work, you got to keep the house tidy. I don't think that's unfair. So, good on him, having the balls, cut her off, say, no, you're not going to sit there and fucking eat all day while I work, motherfucker. Cool. Okay, so... nice, long stream. Thick, solid, tight. Keep it up. Let's see how fucking big you can get. Let's tap it off with the Superberry segment. Chat, everybody's favorite segment, the Superberry segment. Thank you for sticking around for the entire stream, by the way. If you've been here from start to finish, you're my favorite. Of all my children, of all my viewer children, you're my favorites. Angel Vomit, for one, says, hey, friends, I can't stay for the stream, but have a nice show. I think we did. I think we covered everything. Humble Guardsman for 5 says, please yell, ham jams, as if a horde of rabid hamsters were halfway done gnawing through your thigh. Thank you. I don't think I put that much soul into it, but I tried. Fashima Ham for 2 says, huge amounts of blacks moving into my area. Now I gotta deal with them as customers at work. Any tips for someone who has never had to deal with neighbors before? From the wise words of Scott, the guy from Dilbert, just don't. Stay away. Asian tech support for 5 says clack, 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 clack. I guess I was typing or something. Oh no, that's the gun from the Hill of Klein thing. I got you. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 2 says, why is Ethan Klein so ugly? Because he's ugly inside and out. That's the truth. Vordier, for 1, says, when will my hoodie show up? It's still in production. It should be coming out of production to the distribution center on Monday, and then I'll get all the orders in, and they'll start dispersing it that week. Kurt Eichenwald, Anime Masturbator for 5 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, can you ask Sven if he would consider adapting his cartoon to a full-length OVA where Hela fights evil Palestinian children with the power of her Kabbalistic magic? I think if he had the funds, he just might. That would be a fun lawsuit. Is it copyright infringement to make a movie about someone murdering Palestinian children using their likeness? I would say no. Bjakni for 10 says, YouTube link. Oh boy, let's see. I think you've sent me this before.
Excuse me, ma'am. No porn at the bar.
Oh, it's okay. I'm transgender.
Oh, I had no idea. Do whatever you want all the time.
This is the only clip of like recent Family Guy I've seen, and it's also the only clip tranny bashing. It's kind of crazy. It just goes to show that people are like desperate for any kind of content like that. Thank you. Haramburger 50 says, what the heck is Sven's accent? Danish, Netherlands, it's like a pickled fish, very vinegary. Very southern. It's like that weird, I guess he says he has a weird Dutch dialect. So it must be like a super Germanized Dutch, as opposed to a super anglicized Dutch, which is how most Dutch people speak. Devious DV for 1 says, wow, thank you. David S877 for 25 says, so more useless, middle managers or project managers? I'm going with project managers. More meetings always make a project work better. I don't know. I can't answer this question because I don't have enough experience. But I will say this. One of my really bad shortcomings is I'm super bad at delegating. I've complained about this multiple times. But I went through the Kiwi Farms and I reviewed all the report handling that had been done by mods this year. And like half our mod team just disappeared like over 2022. So we've been doing fewer reports more reports, way more reports, like thousands of reports a month with fewer mods than ever before. And I'm going to have to hire more mods, I think. And I say hire, very thing. I don't know. I kind of need like a middle manager. I need somebody who can like talk to staff, keep people engaged, keep people like on the site, and like they feel like they have a voice that I listen to and shit. And I'm really bad at doing that myself. So I don't know who my middle manager can be. Maybe Haramburger. I'll force him to be my middle manager. Thank you. Newshammy69 for 2 says, why did the hamster quit his job? Because he wasn't happy with the salary they gave him. Oh, like salary. I got you. That's funny. Wholesome pun. Pashmina Ham for 1 says, ask Sven what he thinks about the artist that seems to have contempt for their most popular work, like Scotty Young. Sorry, I wasn't looking at super chats during the interview. So any comments directed towards Sven? I guess I'm a fucking idiot. I should have done that. That's my bad. I apologize. Ho Holocaust for 1 says, I'm racist. Based. Employee Manjack for 2 says, would you commission clips or other art from Sven for future projects now that you have the connection? I already have. If you watch that video of me and Medicare talking, there's a custom intro that's like based off Medicare's usual intro, but with lolcow stuff. That's all Sven. I paid him for, and honestly, he didn't give me all the ones I paid for. I'm going to be real with you. We agreed on like 20 or something, and I got like 10 out of it. Not even, like 5. I should force him to finish that at some point. Space Allen for 20 says, Ham Jam. Thank you, Space Allen. I appreciate it. Patrick S. Tomlinson for 2 says, the reason why people can't take a joke anymore is that every baby born after 1995 has been autistic, medicated, or both. That might be true. Never heard it put that way. Boogie 1488 for 20 says, Dear Josh, have you ever watched the Bad Guys Second Life trolling? They were the worst, best channel on YouTube. I got wrongfully taken down by questionable rival Britbong. Thanks. I am not old and gay. I have not. Britbong, all he does is flag. He's like one of the saddest fucking sad sacks that have ever lived. That dude, he's like 40. He's like a jobless Johnny living off the fucking dole in the UK, and all he does every day is cry about the Kiwi Farms and me personally, and tries to flag me. That's his entire fucking life. It is the saddest existence. It's legit like even trannies don't spend that much fucking time just seething and crying about the Kiwi Farms. It's so sad too, because he was like an OG troll that a lot of people respected, and then for whatever reason he just like he demands respect from everybody, and it's just like a huge flag it. Employee Man, thank you by the way. Employee Man Jack for 2 says, Null, do a person stream on Big Lenny who died this week. He has a small thread on the forum, good Gumroad content. Maybe. God, my fucking mic is clicking. Oh. I don't know anything about him. I keep seeing people talking about him, but I have no idea what that means. Sorry, I'm not familiar with him at all. My hamster is a turf for 2 says, nothing. Love you, Josh. Thank you. Appreciate it. The Ace of Speds for 10 says, I really wish you'd interview Gail Cord Schuller. She's a bit special. I think you'd dig into her mind, much like how you drove the St. Terry came up with Chloe's. The issue with Gail is that all her shit is, like, fake. Like, all of her stuff comes from the trolls. What happened with Gail is that all the old school Chris Chan trolls who were obsessed with Chris kind of latched onto her when Chris got boring and were like, we're going to make her the new Chris. And her issue is that she's extremely gullible. She just repeats every single thing that people tell her. So she says really crazy, ridiculous shit about Jesuit bukkake bombs and stuff. But that's just because people told her that those are real. It doesn't come from like a creative place in her mind. That's not something that she developed on her own. That's just her parroting stupid shit that teens told her when they were trying to troll the new Chris, you know? It's not that interesting is the issue. Haramburger for 2 says, Sven sounds a bit like Yakko from Animaniacs, only slightly more horny and offensive. He does have a very distinct voice. Like I said, he misses calling for voice acting. The Lion King for 1 says, South Africa has so many endangered animals. My favorite is the white people. I really wish you'd stop watching me, bro. You're just like a disgusting fucking mutt, and I don't like you. Good Luck 7 for 5 says, damn it, hour late because of work. Your interviewee is entertaining and knowledgeable. I grew up around Muslims, Bosnians, and Palestinians are chill and integrate. The rest are just backwards. If you insist, bro. Brain Bucket for 10 says, Josh finally found a racist Eurofriend he can stream with. Our boys growing up a chat. I don't know. Apparently I gave him too much shit at the end. I felt kind of bad. His issue was that he just can't stop responding. I'm like, I just asked for a sentence, bro. You didn't have to like spill your guts. I meant I killed her. I killed her. Her body's under the floorboard. I can stop with your fake ignorance. I know you can hear her heart beating. It's like, whoa. I'm not trying to like press you for real. No, thank you. Mad Claw 95 for 5 says, have a good weekend, Josh. You too. Thank you. I intend to have a good weekend. I shall. RT disciple of Mr. Snooker for 1 says, ask Sven for coins. Physiognomy check on Josh. I ask everybody for coins. If you are living like a weird place and you have like silver coins that were minted like before the Bretton Woods Act ruined everything, I want them. Send them to me. Grognan for 10 says, this was a really good stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad you liked it. Good Luck 7 for 2 says, Good has the same experience with me. I grew up in Germany watching American TV through pirated satellite and learned perfect English before ever even immigrating to the U.S. Well, congratulations on immigrating from Germany. The few, the proud. Brianna Wu, Hyperbimbo for 10 says, urgent. Something your guest said made me wonder if he could identify the mystery cartoonist Ralph was invoking here while yelling at Josh. Timestamp. Is this like drama bait that's going to be about him?
You're a fucking goddamn broken faggot. That's what your life is. You will be a tranny by the end of the decade. Your mom fucking disowns you. Your whole family disowns you. Everybody fucking hates you. Big creators email me all the time. Cartoonists, I guess you could say, talk about what a piece of shit you are. Motherfuckers who could buy and sell your ass talk about what a loser you are.
Cartoonist. Could be him. I doubt it. Because Ralph does this. Like, Ralph, like, tries to, like, seed discord between people and, like, try to sow... Because he says, like, oh, you know, I have all the deets and XYZ said ABC about you. And it's like, oh, I don't really believe you because you're a fat, hollering pig monster and you don't have any clout or value. I simply choose not to care about what you have to say. Thank you. Giga Cake for 2 says, would your view of cuties change if you knew the director was an African woman that used French extremism common in their movies to show it is gross? She hates sexualization of kids. No, that is fucking cope. If you hate the sexualization of kids, and then you have 300 little girls twerk for auditions to your movie, and now there is a audition tape somewhere in some fucking pedophile Frenchman's vault where he can jerk off to hundreds of kids auditioning for this movie position, and then also your movie is nothing but crotch shots on leotards of 12-year-olds, you're not fighting anything. You're just fucking gross. You're just exploiting kids. Pure fucking coke, bro. The best African woman, actually, no, she is just finding more little kids for a French man to rape. Keston Couch Crab for 5 says it's Flatworm Friday. I don't know what that means, and I don't want to know. Good Luck 7 for 2 says Channing was still your best interview, so I've been told. I think it's Sam Hyde's favorite. Haramburger for 2 says 2 hours and 25 minutes in before the actual stream, ultra late and turbo gay. Nice try, guy. That's not how it works. Cole for 5 says Sven should invest in a cardboard cutout to shill his book. They come with a clapper. This is going to be the clip from that weird cartoon, and the guy's going to say, buy my book. I know what this is already. Ho, 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 Holocaust for 1 says, could you do a self-serve ad similar to how 4chan does it? Pay with crypto, get an ad spot for X days or whatever. I could, but I don't think many people would do it. Colganante for 5 says, starting a 25-car pileup on the freeway because the car heard me say stationary negative 25% and revoked my driving privileges. What does that even mean? Stationary negative 25% and revoked my... I don't know what the fuck that means, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear about your pileup. MadClaw95 for 5 says, picking up both Butch Killigan comics now. Fun interview, Josh. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Enjoy your books. Gormless Wonder for 1 says, Josh, you should put your devious hat patent as many horrible dystopian ideas as possible so nobody can use them. It is very, very expensive to file for a patent. The fees are high, and you need like a patent attorney to do it. That's I want to say that's Brianna Wu's husband's job, is just specifically filing patents for their IP collection. Tetrabax for $200 says, have a happy pizza day. I just fucking might. Thank you very much. Haramburger for 2 says, never mind World of Warcraft's irrelevance. There isn't a more hard-stuck group of opinionated consumers with cemented ideas than WoW players. You can't change their game, won't change their vote. They're also not young. Like, trying to appeal to young people by playing World of Warcraft is like trying to appeal to young people by playing fucking bingo or baseball cards or something. Like, you're kind of missing your shot there. Pirate Mike 420 for 10 says, porn is terrifying. I like watching 14-year-olds grateful suggestively in yoga pants on TikToks instead like a normal person. Oh, I'm sure that's very normal. I'm sure that's going to work out great for you, buddy. The false copy of Thunder for 1 says, check the replies, LOL. And then there is a link to Bill Crystal, who I think is like a conservatard or something on Twitter. Let's see. If Trump wins on November 5th, it will be because of his support from a majority of white America. As a white American, and as a white American man to boot, I've got to say, in the immortal words of Pogo, we have met the enemy, and he is us. And Bill Crystal is Jewish, I think. So I assume that if I take this and I say knitter post, so I can actually see the fucking replies. As a white American, not just one but two lies there. I guess he's Israeli. William Crystal was born to a Jewish family by Gertrude Himmelfarb. Irving Crystal was an editor and publisher. The white American. Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is not true, I imagine. Yeah, that's about on point. Zent Suppa. Oh, wait, no, wrong one. Zent Suppa for 1 says, Josh, click that one notification on your bell. It's driving me nuts. Enjoy your pizza. I can't. Dude, okay, let me show you what that notification is. You know what it is? I go to Zitter and I show you. It's this page. And it says that someone logged into my account, and that's the only notification I get. And because of how X works, I can never, ever dismiss it. It's always this message. It's always red 1 because I'm banned. Fortier for 5 says, approval voting is superior to ranked choice. You just mark who you're okay with and who doesn't suffer from cheating like ranked choice. Arpeggio. I have not spent enough time looking into alternative voting styles to have an opinion on this, but I've never even heard of approval voting. I kind of get the idea. You just vote for whoever you're okay with. It's interesting. Joa Jovi for 5 says, good interview and stream. Ham Jam. Thank you very much. Ho Ho Holocaust says, only... I'm not reading that. Not for $1. Laserdisc Spinman for 10 says, what do you think of the VTuber thread currently and their watch up opinions on certain types of small VTuber models? You can't separate lolicon shit from anything Japanese related. You just can't. People get offended. They start saying that you're being prudish. They start trying to falsely compare it. Like, actually, when you watch South Park, sometimes they draw the little dingle dongles on the kids, and that's basically pedophilia by your standard. It's like, no, it's fucking not, because it's a cardboard cutout. It's not a real, it doesn't look like anything. It looks like a fucking little flake off of the cardboard cutout. It doesn't look like a real kid. Meanwhile, the drawings that are Japanese styled are very obviously meant to accentuate that they are human looking. But the thread's mostly okay, but you can't, like, beat the retard out of fucking anime people. Willie Dante for 5 says, killing someone is something you don't really know what it feels like until you experience it. You'll know it when it happens. It's the best feeling ever. Possibly. Maybe that's what she meant. Maybe that'll be her calling card. It'll be like on her third girlfriend. She'll be like, you know what? It's a really powerful feeling. You don't know what it's like until you experience it. It'll be like how you know she's marked someone for death. Ace of Speds for 5 says, Mustard Master Race. What a fucking Chad. I agree. Cyberchud 2013 for 25 says, W Longstream, enjoy the pizza. Thank you. I will. Appreciate it. Bunker Housing for 5 says, Test approved. Banana Plugs for 2 says, Happy Pizza Day, Josh. You're my favorite non-Slav always. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Swords Mage for 1 says, we went to a farmer's market for some produce and the total came out to $14.88. It was a struggle not to chuckle and have to explain to the old lady there. Didn't have anyone else to tell, so have $1. I mean, it's funny when you see shit that's on sale for that. But yeah, it's just an inside thing. Banana Plugs for 2 says, also pray for me. Also, anytime anyone says I can't breathe, then just start laughing. You can't explain that to anybody. You just say you thought of a funny joke. Banana Plugs for 2 says, also pray for me. I'm staying alone with my 2-year-old until Tuesday for the first time. I'm afraid he won't allow me to get any sleep in the night. Oh, that sucks. Sounds like a pain in the ass of a kid that wakes up in the middle of the fucking night like that. Don't kids sleep at 2? I hope so. Now, good luck. Waifus aren't real for 10 says, please play this song, Sneedful Leader. Okay, I'll play a second of it. My thing froze up. Peanut song froze my computer. Ew. It's gross. This sucks. Sorry, this sucks. Zippity Doodah for 5 says, this is why Tom loves sucking off Destiny. He's such a based edgelord who doesn't care what other thinks. It's definitely not shameless networking. Okay, let's see.
All these people, right? A lot of people ask me, Tom, why do you like Destiny? What is appealing about him? Why do you think he's cool? I mean, there's the cuck stuff with Melina, his open relationships, right? Cringe. There's some of the crazy clips that have come out over the years of him saying crazy stuff. So what about this person could be appealing to you? Like, why could you ever even like this guy? Well, it's exactly that. I like when people are willing to say what the audience wants, the fake BC people. I'm gonna do what I want and not rely on this cringe little group of losers and their approval. I mean, this is the same group of people who hosted the Streamies, which was like legendary cringe.
And the winner is
Dylan Mulvaney.
That's my girl.
The reason I liked content creation in the first place.
Okay, I get it. He's an edgelord. Okay. I mean, it's not very persuasive. If you say whatever the fuck you want and what you say and do is retarded and gay, you're still a gay retard. Just like a different kind of gay retard. Which basically sums up Destiny. Sneedo, for 1 says, I just found out Dominicans hate being called black and hate Haitians. Yeah, they really, really fucking hate Haitians, bro. Come on. They are black, though. Logistical Nightmare for 5 says, cheers, Josh. Having a 3-hour stream has been mega kino. Another pain to do, and I don't want them every week, but it's fun to have some long streams in the mix. Yeah, I try to mix it up every so often, bro. I'm not trying to be stale here. Thank you. Crispy Legs for 10 says, happy Friday. I made mushroom soup today. Would you like a bowl? I know they're your favorite. Fuck mushrooms, bro. They fucking take cream, tasty cream, and put mushroom in that shit. That's fucking nasty, bro. Thank you, though. Banana Plug, I'll buy some real food with that. Banana Plugs for 2 says, we all know you love cheese, but what about cottage cheese? Is cottage cheese on the base, bread-based, or cringe? It's based. I mean, usually when I have cottage cheese, I'm trying to do keto. So I usually mix it with vegetables, oddly enough. Bunker Housing for 5 says, I've been here from the start. Why don't you do a stream with Jim? He's going to be dead soon. You two had good chemistry. When we spoke, we had something to talk about, which was all the Drop Kiwi Farm stuff. I'm not opposed to doing anything with Jim, so if the need ever arises, I'm sure we'll talk again. Haramburger for 2 says, middle manager, delegator, am I going to have to shorten my name to HR Burger? Yeah, maybe. Octavia sales rep for 5 says, missed most of the talk with Sven, can't wait to listen to the replay later. Does the Rumble replay still not work? I think I tried to fix that, but I could have kept it broken, I guess. Patrick Sneedson for 5 says, with the Internet Archive getting DDoSed and breached, how long do you anticipate them keeping the website closed? I have no fucking clue. Theoretically, it should be fixed already. Sneedo for 1 says, hey Josh, did you see those animes on Twitter seething at the farms for doxing and for the thread on Rev says, dude, if you're going to circle the wagon for anybody on the forum, picking the fucking Romanian guy that sucks tranny cock is like your hero. Like, oh no, the Kiwis are deranged. They hate anime. That's fucking sad and pathetic. Not lol from Kino Chat 2 for $50 says heart. Oh, isn't that sweet, chat? Thank you very much. And finally, Brown Boy Soup for 10 says YouTube link. Let's check it out. Oh, I know what this is.
And happy birthday.
Dude, she looks so much like Anne Frank. You know what I mean?
And Nick Gurr, if you're watching.
She knows. She knows.
Someone in chat wants me to say that. Happy birthday, Nick Gurr. All right, we do
Her face.
also honorable mentions. Yes.
That's great. Awesome. All right, that was a great super chat to end this one. I feel very accomplished today. My throat hurts from all the fucking talking and screaming. Closet. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. One more. Sino for 10 says, oh my god, and the fucking YouTube link. Are you kidding me, bro? Probably the only black man in history to notice chirps in an unexpected place. Okay, this is the last one. Don't say any more. Dude, I'm telling you, I was listening to Ethan Ralph, and he was like blackout drunk on pills playing this fucking song, and it's supposed to be like the sound of Nikes on the court, and I'm like, is this like fucking chirpcore or no? It was Bossman Jack even. He was like listening to a song, and it was this song, and there was that sound of sneakers on the basketball court. I'm like, he's listening to like remix fucking Smoke Detector chirps. What the fuck is happening? I was losing my shit at that. When I first heard that, it's crazy that someone else noticed that and put it into like a TikTok or whatever. That's funny. Okay. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. Wait, hold up. Vinyl. One last thing. I will be playing, probably on Kick only, Dustborn over the weekend. I'm gonna try to do it, okay? I know it's not timely or whatever. I'll play fucking Dustborn over the way. I haven't done a video game stream in forever. I might as well just kick the shit with the chat. Kick only video game stream Dustborn this weekend. I'll post it on the Telegram and on the Facebook group and on the thread. And everywhere I fucking announce shit. Follow me on the Kick, whatever. I'll see you then. Okay. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Did you hear me? It is tax-free. My Zannies, my hookers, my super chats too. Hit that button, cause every single super chat I got it tax-free. Tax-free. Take out your pill bottles, shake your pills, because it's gonna be tax-free. Tax-free, tax-free. Tell you what is that, we got it. Tax-free in my little tin shack. Cats flying in tornadoes. Gun flopping up and down, let's get the guns out. Gun, 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 gun. Shake it around when it's tax-free. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax-free. But wiggle, you best not fold the bullshit because these super chats, they all tax-free. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Yo, Faith, don't make me say it. Squeeze. Child support. Faith, it's tax-free. Compass sneed, cause it's tax-free. That's right, bitch. Now kiss my Gucci hat. I said kiss it. It's authentic, bitch. It's time to gun out. Shake your gun like you mean it. Whee! Wiggle, wiggle. Welcome to the kill spree. This song. Wiggle, wiggle. What you mean I'm drunk? I'm sober, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Maybe one more. So take out your pill bottles and shake your pills and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. It's a tip, so it's tax-free. But wiggle.